Normally this would be the point where I push the recap button.
Last time on the Age of Ashes.
However, it's previously on the Age of Ashes.
Sorry.
However,
Previously. You biffed it.
since the point of the recap videos is to just be a really quick catch-up point for somebody who did not either miss that episode or is new to the show or has missed a bunch of episodes, I want to keep the collection of recap videos as small and brief as possible. And last week on the Age of Ashes,
Rasheen got
we fought a
bullied.
bunch of dudes in Summershade Quarry and pushed further into it.
We had an amazing wrestle match in the
You did.
steel cage.
Yeah, in the Stone Quarry!
Stone quarry.
Hello and goodbye.
Mr. Lifts Boulders.
That's right. We opened.
Swolseps the Shadow
Yeah, Swole-
Giant laying the smack down. No full plate stopping his knuckles, but
Nope.
Nothing
Pulled out
stopping
a
them.
steel chair and just went to town.
Dents in rib cages the same as full plate.
no. Man, I still am regretful that he did not share a language with the party, but I think it's almost funnier that he didn't.
That was great.
Great.
I don't know
feel
what
like
Todo-Ra means, but man, that's Roshin's battle cry.
I was about to say.
This sounds so awesome. We're going with it.
Remember, I tried to speak to said giants, thinking, "Oh, I turned into a giant."
I mean, we had some great memes
discovered
aside. Nothing majorly like story developmental that you would find yourself suddenly lost for context jumping into this session has occurred. So we came to Summershade Quarry. You guys are hopeless now.
Just a little bit.
I'm gonna move this over.
Freaking
here so I can hear
Martinesco
it
is
better.
just breaking me. It's
Stop with the pasta.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Last week, previous to that, we had made our way down to the southern end of Kintargo, tracking Varys, the apparently null leader of the Scarlet Triad, or at least their regional operations here. She's hiding somewhere in this quarry, unless this is just yet another step on the seemingly eternal passage to find this woman. And we're at least stumbling on what seems to be a fairly major operation. We've seen the floor of the quarry itself, a massive area hundreds of feet across. An empty, blank stone expanse has been transformed into a series of almost... I don't know if you can have an oversized oubliette. Does being oversized inherently mean it's not an oubliette, or does that just mean like it's a...
Well, an oubliette's basically a pit in the ground that you throw something in to forget about.
Yeah, I always think of them as tiny, so I guess it's not inherently not an oubliette.
Well,
it's
real
large.
estate in Europe is expensive, so they have to keep them small.
That's fair.
Give me a minute and I'll think about
They've
a pun for it.
repurposed it into a massive holding cell for an unknown number of slaves that they've captured from, if not Kintargo, at least throughout the Ravno region. It is almost certainly at least dozens. Could possibly even be much more. The area is huge. We've pushed through some early Scarlet Triad forces and stumbled upon some giants. Some particularly large folk who seem to be fighting to defend the quarry just as fervently as the Scarlet Triad themselves. Let me turn this music down a little bit. I think this got nudged.
Thankfully susceptible to sharpened steel.
I still think we're gonna get to the end of this, and there's gonna be like a little sign that says Varys is in another castle.
Turning our music down, by the way. If you didn't hear anything change on stream, you shouldn't have. But we left off in the aftermath of a pretty intense battle with another giant in the center of the quarry. It wasn't the center, but visible in the middle of the pit. Making our way back up to the relative safety of this cavern we'd already cleared, and stopping to rest, heal up, and repair as we can to prepare to move forth into this strange chamber that Trishik is currently lurking into.
And I forget, did you make me invisible again?
No, but I can.
No, you were
Yeah,
just
just-
sneaky beaky like.
yeah, we were
sneaky
just
beaky.
chilling.
So,
All right.
do you, lizard boy, have dark vision?
Got my goggles.
Because the majority of the area so far has been lit by sconce torches interspersed down the passageways mined around the outsides of the quarry, or set up around these living quarters, these assorted barracks that you've made your way into. But this, off to the side, as you look into this squared stone chamber, you can see it's lit here, and it's lit on the passageway over to the right. But another avenue to the left descends off into darkness. Now, this chamber, I'll just describe it again for those of you who weren't around for the end of the last session, is constructed much differently than the occupied barracks of the quarry passages so far. It's hewed much more evenly, squared off, the walls near completely smooth. If it didn't share the same substance as the granite and natural stone of the rest of the quarry around it, you might think that it had been constructed in here separately. But into the cleanly sheared walls of this chamber, there are a variety of carvings. One on the wall directly across from you, one on the wall just to your left, would be behind you as you're coming in, and then one split flanking this passageway on the southern side. Each of them seeming to depict largely massive bears in different states of being, but almost universally girded in enormous slabs of stone serving as barding or armor. They are arrayed, seeming to splay out from the southern passage. This almost one massive carved mural just spanning across several walls of the chamber, and each of them positioned and faced as if they were standing guard around the southern passageway. The southern wall, southern hall like this chamber, is much higher ceilinged than the barracks you've been through so far. Arcing 20 feet up overhead. Not so much arcing, it's a flat ceiling up above you, but reaching far up beyond what the cavern behind you was. And this southern passageway shares that. The ceiling does not dip at all as it moves in to a massive, looking strangely almost as a formal hallway, 10 feet wide, 20 feet tall, carved into the stone. To your right, the much more natural stonework continues, and you can see the light of torches continuing off down the hallway.
I don't remember there being mention of a giant's gate, do I?
Were you? I don't think you've even. You were in Breacher, right? You have actually.
Yeah.
You've been through also this ring. Did we? I don't know if we gave you the rundown of the various gates, but Giant's Gate wasn't one of them. No.
So
They're all also supposed to be elven.
yeah.
You didn't know of
Elves.
any super massive elven races.
Let's see. There's the Wasp and Whips and the Waves Gate. There's the Sunset Gate, which looks like it's going to the desert. The
There's
Crystal
Swole
Gate,
Gate.
and then there's the Alceta Gate.
Is there a biceps gate?
There isn't a Biceps Gate, nor is there a Bear Gate. So, probably no. Probably
They
no.
all sound like a
Idar down
variety
there.
of Nixon era scandals. Bear gate.
Bear Gate. My imagination is totally making a whole plot for that, by the way.
Stop.
Well,
Oh, it's off on this one too. I see what I've done. So the camera's a little off on this one because I adjusted it on here. I see. That's fine. I'll just sit over this way.
Why?
More interesting
Why?
position for this
at
camera
that. Look at
because I
that.
did weird things, and that's the thing that I realized that messing with the overlay I would have made a mistake with. We'll be slightly off center today. It's okay. We can be off center.
I win $5. Within 10 minutes, it happened.
So in the room, you don't see any signs of any more of these giants or anything that you can see clearly where the layer of just dirt and grime across the floor has been moved around by the motions of the giant that took cover back here that you had fought just within the last hour. But the southern end of the room does have a bit of a weird, I guess, obstacle? Question mark. Which looks like 4 massive heaped corpses of long dead grizzly bears. They are clearly dead to the point of their skin and much of their flesh having rotted away to bare exposed bone, ribs, and claws jutting out at odd angles.
Bare bones.
Bare bones. But they're just almost wantonly strewn across the southern half of this chamber. each of their massive bodies making an unnatural barricade around this southern hall.
Barricade.
A barricade.
Well, I just happen to have a really useful tool for circumventing issues on the ground level. That's called the roof.
Roof, you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up the wall and climb across the ceiling like the lizard I am.
Alrighty. And
Not-
so, as he's going around this, as he's wanting to scout, what's going on with the rest of the party out here?
Roisin, I have to say, I've never been shot with an arrow before. It's quite painful.
Oh yes, hurts terribly.
I'm going to try to use some incense and essences to see if I can't have you pull this out and prevent infection. Would you grab it for me?
I don't see what the incense and essences has anything to do with it, but I'll go ahead and take it out.
Oh, it's magic.
Right.
All right, you hold, I'll pull.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, hold on.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
I have something for this. Hopefully, it doesn't sound quite that juicy.
Oh, that's better.
If you're
It's
pulling
okay.
an
Essential
arrow.
oils solve all problems.
Oh, that feels so much
remind me,
better.
did you break that arrow before you pulled it out, or did you yank a whole arrow out of a wound?
So Roisin has 0 medicine, so she's just doing what she's told.
You probably
Ow!
Yeah, that's probably not great. All those are
so-
some pretty potent essential oils.
I guess at this point, Marshall, after he's done, well, because I remember I was bandaging myself up and eating and whatever. So I guess at this moment, I'd probably be examining the corpses of the giants and see if there's anything useful that Marshall specifically can use, whether he's big or small.
Looking across them, I mean, they don't seem to keep much, though. Each of the stone giants that you defeated throughout this room has one of their massive clubs, and any sort of personal effects or adornments they seem to keep, they have invested into these sticks, as they are not just logs, but they whirl around with different scrimshaw and carvings and inscriptions, paintings up and down the lengths of them sometimes, numerous trophies and different wraps of braided cord hang from its handle. And each of them also bears a weight of magic at all. They are all +1 striking great clubs.
Ooh.
And,
Well,
you did,
I'm gonna gather those up and come up to Roisin and the others. Be like, oh, guys, look what I got.
he did drop 5 of those giants. There are 5
there's runes
+1
in there.
striking great clubs.
Just drop it right in the sack.
Well, they are humongous. They are large-sized great clubs.
Magic sack.
Sack of money.
Does the magic sack not have a limit upon dimensions?
It does. It's like 50.
Well, fair enough. Magic sack, I suppose. There's probably going to be some stuffing to get it. The problem is the mouth of the magic sack, I suppose.
I mean, if we have to, wherever the runes happen to be, I can just like smash that part of the club off and just drop that piece in.
I don't care about the stick.
I'll take the rune off later.
I mean, the other idea was you just hold it open and Marshall like just shoves it in there or steps on it like as he's trying to shove it into the
Well, I
bag.
have things
You
in that
put it in
bag.
half first, and then you just stamp on the top until it manages to jam its way into the opening of the bag.
It's just like in a cartoon. Just
I have breakable things in there, probably.
Don't know at this point.
Yeah, there's a set of expanded alchemist tools in that sack. I need to. Yeah, we want to not to do that.
You have
Roll
to
me,
invest in
roll me a d20.
I thought those were, wait, I thought
Yes.
those were in my
Just
bag.
make me a flat check.
No, I have one in mine and you have one in yours.
That's a 16.
No, I have.
Okay, there's a set of expanded alchemist tools in there.
Okay.
Miraculously unsmashed after this incredible brute forcing is taking place.
And there's 5 of those.
5, yes.
All right, I'll add it
One
to
for
the,
each giant.
the total of +1 striking weapons that we happen to have.
So many.
Strangely enough, after a couple of seconds, you'll actually see some what look like magical vines actually grow over and pull my wound together, and a small flower will bloom, and the hole will completely close.
Oh, look at that. It actually is working.
I told you, it's wonderful stuff.
It's a lot better than the oil merchants that tried to sell me things in town.
That's because
As
that's
I'm still-
snake oil. It's different.
As I'm still shoving
Smell like
a
flowers.
club into the bag, I'm like, Lass, you got some weeds growing out of you.
Let me help you. Mad Cat 17 in the chat. Got another hero point for Marshall. I'm putting you up to dose. There.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
All cats are mad.
I'm actually I'm in the southern half of the room. I
was
actually
about to
have
say-
my hammer out. And I'm just kind of I'm slightly singing to myself, throwing the hammer like I'm practicing a dance. Like I might need to start using this. I've been getting hit a lot today, and honestly, I think it's gonna bruise.
Honestly, dear, had you considered not staying there to get hit? You're very, very fast. You should really try running away.
I was thinking about that too, actually. Perhaps it'd be good if you retreated after you slash them up nicely. That way you're not sitting there waiting for them to smash you back.
Well, usually when you dance, you don't leave the partner high and dry behind you.
You do if he's a very bad dancer.
Oh, he was an awful dancer, and I'm taking that advice to heart right now. Just throws the hammer right past your head and comes back. Yeah, this might work.
By the by, you have an unnatural talent, Miss Eleonora, that you can flow through battle so quickly and effectively, but I'm afraid Miss Resume seems to have the best of it here. You don't seem to make much use of it, besides diving in headlong. Something that I'm noticing in your companion seems to be a running theme.
Oh, a running theme? That was a good joke.
I get
It
it.
wasn't intended to be, but I suppose regretfully I have to take credit for it.
But yes, they are very rambunctious. and-
Enthusiastic.
Oh, enthusiastic, precisely. Why don't we try being a little bit more subtle next time? I'll see if I can't give you a bit more pep in your step, and see if we can't get you out of hitting range.
When it comes to a matter of combat, I'm afraid enthusiastic and suicidal are near indistinguishable from each other.
She's actually got the right of that.
That sounds alright. Well, I really don't have a lot of experience fighting anything bigger than a man. And even then, I don't do a lot of fighting myself. So it's all being learned from being thrown in first.
But you have a truly impressive talent for it, Miss Eleonora.
Unfortunately.
Gosh, how did I fall in with all of these people?
I asked the same thing.
And as you guys are discussing here, and Trishik is creeping around the other room being a spooky lizard, doing just general spooky lizard stuff.
Where did he get to?
I am the demon on the roof.
You just hear it whisper throughout the halls.
It was I was the demon all along.
Make me a fortitude save, Trishik.
Okie dokie.
All the rotting corpses of bears.
Rotting corpses. Bears are incredibly stinky.
32.
So with a 32, you are you're okay. You've dealt with some horrific stenches in your time, but the scent of these the scent of these marshals prepared you for this. The scent of these rotting bears is overpowering, to say the least.
Like,
It
can't
is.
I just hold my breath?
Well, yeah, you'd probably, as soon as you start smelling it, probably hold your breath. It's
I can hold my breath for like 25 minutes.
It's absolutely horrible. And as you move past them, make me. You're sneaking actually, so you're doing some sneaky beaky stuff. You see something a bit odd about the bodies. They don't move, they don't react in any way. They seem to, for all purposes possible, be corpses. But as you get closer, you can see a just slight shimmer of purple energy. Not a full, well, not like a mage armor spell or something. It's not coating their entire body, but just occasionally flitting across their hide or running the length of an exposed rib, sparking through these rotting innards. Just barely visible in the torchlight.
I've got night vision goggles turned on now because I'm starting to get to where it's dark.
Right. This room's still lit, though, so you don't have to worry about that quite yet.
Yeah.
And as you continue along the hallway here, ending up almost directly above one of these, there's actually, as you would end up directly above one of these bears moving around to make to this passage. With a rasping growl and a swift movement, this energy would flourish to life inside the nearest bear. As this thing would all at once, not slowly shuddering to life like some common zombie, rights itself almost immediately. Looking around, poised, clearly not aware of where you are, but that something has activated it. And as it moves, so too do the rest of this pile of corpses start to stir.
Oh boy.
Now, in the other room, you guys would be able to hear a bear. What sounds like a bear growl. Something is certainly off about it, but it's definitely a bear of some kind.
Not a bear.
Sure does
Yeah.
sound like one.
I don't know. I'm not accustomed to listening to bears.
Oh,
That's fair enough.
I definitely know that's a bear. I've wrestled a
Right.
lot of them.
You're so odd.
I take my sword and shield out and just kind of nose up to the direction Trushik disappeared off to.
I'm taking out my axe and following close behind.
So, for what it is worth, any and extra senses they have beyond vision.
Right, that's why they don't see you.
Yeah.
They're just, they're active, but they're not sure what exactly is happening. As
Sneak is
Rushin
crazy.
pulls her stuff and Marshall follows along,
I'll come up behind them also.
yeah,
God.
Valia would definitely follow, and Eleonora, with your swiftness, you could move much of the way up as well. But Rasheen, as you even start to peek around the corner here, these bears clearly just have some kind of a sense of where you are. Even as you just start to look, they're already turning your direction. Angry, assorted bear noises echoing through this chamber. in
Oh,
your
there are
direction.
bears. There's a lot of them. There's 4 of them. What is going on?
What are multiple bears called when they're together?
That's called an initiative check.
You see
gonna
me
need you
just
guys.
above the bears looking down.
I don't think they
confused.
see you. I don't think they see you. You're very hidden.
That's no. I'm completely out in the open to.
Oh, that's
see.
true. Yeah.
Marshall just gets ecstatic and he's like, oh, it's a bear party.
Is that the good one or the bad one?
Good one.
Hey.
Ho ho. Marshall's very excited.
Hello.
And the good news, Sirenscape has fantastic bear noises.
They do have good bear
They have
noises.
really good
So would you like a plethora of bears? Here is a bear.
Burr.
That's a bear.
Burr.
That sure is a bear.
Here is a bear.
Give
That's
unto this
also a bear.
party.
And here are 2 things from the Age of Ashes bestiary box that are generally the same size, because I only had 2 bears.
Oh.
I love
Technically
bears.
not a burr.
How can you bear it?
It's kind of a bear
Barely.
look almost. it's
That's
like-
just Ursinine.
I
You already
got
used that in the
up on
chat.
this camera for sure.
Oh, you're right, I did.
Just give up.
Okay, so where are my tokens? Everything got moved around. We were reorganizing our studio this week. Trishik,
23.
you're rolling stealth for initiative, I assume?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
I rolled a hard 1.
And if you didn't have that,
I'm not
like-
messing with the bears. I'm standing still.
this is the classic. You're hidden from them by merit of you are above them, and because you have that feat that hides you from their other senses, they don't smell you. So they're active. Something is passed by, they're triggered, but they don't think to look up, and they can't smell you.
They see a
can
thing.
smell Rashid.
I think
There's
it's
an
smells of
obvious
blood.
thing that might have triggered them right there. So they're like, oh, let's go over here. Not look up. Please don't look up.
Marshall.
I'm not here.
I got
You
a
said,
Yes. With the hard 1.
Marshall.
32.
32. All right. Eleonora, you doing your thing?
Right, there are bears, right? I'm gonna let you guys go first.
You can hear bears.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
How about you, Rashid?
Did we get
Roshin,
scouting?
Roshin gets a 24.
I would say you did not have. You would not get scouting.
I
on
was
this one.
I was literally scouting, not scouting
Trishik is-
the action.
Got it.
Yeah, he's being sneaky beaky. And resume.
I got a nat 20, so that's going to be a 38.
Woo!
Very nice.
May I say I had my shield raised coming around?
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
corner?
You absolutely could have your shield raised.
Yeah.
And I will just get us a plethora of bears
I really like bears. They're super cute.
right in the middle.
Fair.
All right, resume. So as you hear these clear bear growls and see a lot of motion and a Rasheen around the corner, it definitely looks like she's reacting to something. You don't see them yet, but you are the first to react.
All right, so we're going to try this now, okay?
Bear.
What? No, it's fine.
They would be, again, clearly undead bears. Literally visible ribs, bone, like some entire limbs would just be bleached bone with bits of stretched muscle maybe still across them, some tendons connected.
Roshin throw a battle cry.
Oh, yeah.
go
You
for it.
can throw a battle cry.
Just kind of panic. She's just gonna roar back at them like a bear.
I was about to say, am I within range to do
You
that?
can't see. You're
Oh, I
around the
can't see
corner.
it,
You
okay.
can't see any of them.
Can I get intimidating prowess?
I do not think you're physically menacing the bears
All right.
while you cower behind your shield in a corner.
All right, fair enough. It's a 31.
31. Do you have Intimidating Glare?
No.
The bears do not speak common. So
-4.
which, yeah, I mean the roar notwithstanding, they're maybe a little confused perhaps, but they don't seem to react much to that other than surging forward.
Allegro. You'll feel an unnatural sensation flow through you, kind of like you've drank a lot of coffee and you don't know what to do with all the extra energy.
Every time you cast that spell, it sounds like you're just prescribing medication.
Yes. It's called haste. It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. All right. And who's getting fast?
The really-
Eleonora.
The recipient of the speed.
Eleanor needs to be more faster.
Uh-huh.
All right, fair enough. One action left then.
I'm going to move up to the crevice near the wall so that I can kind of get an angle on the bears, but not really get near them. Excellent.
Fair enough. Up next to Marshall. We'll take that. Speaking of Marshall, look at this big room. It's so open and large.
Well, first I'm gonna go ahead and move up closer to the bears. And he's just got a big old grin on his face.
Hey, you refilled your rage bottle.
He did. It's a good thing, too, or he wouldn't be able to rage right now.
Yeah, be super hard.
Exactly. Ah!
Okay, so do you want to become large so that you are at the 10-foot chopping range of the bears, or become large so that you are in the middle of Bear Town?
10-foot chopping range.
10-foot. What is this?
So proud of you.
He's not just full sending it? Unimaginable. Which gives you one action left now because you have your level 11 Mighty Rage.
Da 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 da. Swing with Big Red. 27.
27, which will just chop through one of these bears. You hack into them fairly easily, but you see they don't really seem to react to the pain of the strike at all. It's just the physical force of the blow slows them down a bit. Fairly typical for undead. But that'll
So fire doesn't do anything to him either?
no, fire. You can definitely set him on fire.
Well,
It's going to be okay.
so if it matters, it's going to be 24 physical damage and 4 fire.
All right, which bear are you chopping? Because you're in range of 2. You got the furthest forward one and the
The
furthest
one
right
closer to Trushik.
Okay, the one that Trishik is directly above.
Yes.
Okie dokie. And how much did you say?
It was 24 physical and 4 fire.
All right, so 28 points of damage
Or
total.
I'm sorry. It was 28 physical. My bad.
32 points of damage
My apologies.
total.
My math is bad.
That brings us to Bear Town. So these bears, though they are physically large, are not. They don't have any weapons. They don't have extendo paws. Their size does not natively lend them any kind of reach. So they are going to step forward towards Marshall. The two of them that are closest to you, the one that you've struck, powering directly through this hit you've laid on them, to reach out with its jaws. Wide agape, 24, pushed him back pretty hard.
He just steps back and he just sees the jaws snap in front of him. He's like, ha! That's funny.
And then as he fails that one, swiping up with a big paw, just trying to almost as much get a hold of you as it is batter you back. Which will be a little more successful, 28.
That will hit.
Okie dokie. So you're going to feel this giant grizzly bear paw crash into you. You're going to take some damage, which is going to be 20 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And I need you to make me a fortitude save, Mr. Barbarian.
Barbarian making fortitude save.
What was that?
He's,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
He winces a little bit, he grits his teeth, and he's gonna bite his tongue and come up with the gusto.
Didn't take it serious at first.
Okay, 29.
With a 29, you feel this thing smack you, and where its paw lands up on your shoulder, you feel a numbness shoot through your arm. It's not absolutely unheard of, especially if you get hit right in a nerve, but this feels like something different from that. As its claws rend through you, there is something trying to overtake you, but Big Barbarian fight it off for now. Second bear coming in to try to bite. It's gonna have a 25 on the second bear.
Nope.
Hey, they're used to picking on stuff smaller than they are. who is also going to follow up with a claw swipe, which is going to get a 29.
That will hit.
So both of them failing to bite you. Both of them just laying in with pounding claws. You're going to be taking 18 points of slashing damage. I need another fortitude save from you.
All right, 1 sec. As I do my massive health pool math. And another fortitude
Pool
save.
math. First world barbarian problems.
That is a 34.
It's so hard to keep track of my health. I have so many hit points. It's so hard.
Wine.
So, the next of these bears, who in the back of this doorway here, has seen Trishik at this point, as they are flailing up and moving forward. And he got a literal natural 1 on his stealth roll. He notices there is a strange lizard on the wall. Stands up, much like the token is there, big and tall, towering over the bears behind him. Can't reach you with his jaws, but just reaches up, smacking at you with a paw. It's gonna be a 37 to hit.
Oof, not a crit.
He's a big giant man who's wrestling him. You're just getting fly slapped on a wall here. It's a lot more effective. Bear's better at this. So first off, you are going to take 24 points of slashing damage. I'm also going to need a fortitude save from you.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not terrible at those. So, 31.
At 31, you as well, as this paw about the size of your torso crashes into you, flattening you against the wall.
And how much damage?
23, I believe it was.
24.
24. You also feel overcome with this strange numbness, especially around like the outer layer of your skin. You don't feel your armor hanging against you anymore, where it's just smacked you.
I don't have armor.
All right, you don't feel your pimp jacket hanging against you. Where it smacked you. And as it swats, it's gonna swat again. For 36.
That's a
They're
hit.
really upset that you're on this wall. Super unhappy about this.
Go away.
Stop.
I don't like lizards.
20 points of slashing damage, another fortitude save.
Well, that is cocked, so.
Still pretty good, though.
It was a 19 and a 3.
Okay.
And it rolled into a 16, which is 3 higher than my last one, so
So as you're getting flattened in this stone wall here, which Rasheen
22.
can, 22, yeah, can clearly see. Last bear can't really fit into this big battle. However, bears, surprisingly, are not slow. And their undead stature does not appear to have slowed them down at all. And as it runs up around, seeing this big battle going on here, you absolutely need an attack of opportunity. They're also not wolves. It doesn't have any inclination to like gang up and pack attack on Marshall.
Nice.
It is going to run forth to what it had first seen here.
39.
You guys kind of going past each other. 39?
Bop.
Here, don't ignore me. I'll crit.
Get back over there!
As you get mauled by 2 bears, you get some big old slap
I
on
just
his
see
face.
one trying to sneak by, like, nope. That'll be.
On fire now.
Yep, on fire as well.
On fire, bear.
So, okay, that's going to be 30 physical, 5 fire, so times 2.
70.
70 on that bear, and
Good
he's on fire.
slap.
That's a pretty big hit right there.
Barbarian
Stumbling
damage.
this thing. So I was gonna say, Roshin, you see this zombified bear charging around Marshall towards you, but I'm gonna amend that. You see this zombified flaming bear around Marshall towards you. That as it takes this massive swing that heaves its flank entirely wide open, leaving its back right leg just dangling and dragging as this thing runs now on 3 legs, does not at all seem phased by the trauma it's undertaken. And as it charges into the party, I need everybody, but Trishik, who has already made this, to make me a fortitude save.
Another
Because
4.
now the stank bear has arrived.
Ew. Don't like it.
Smells very bad.
Why?
I smell worse.
So, Marshall,
37.
37. Yeah, you don't care. You smell worse on a daily basis.
That's what I just
You have to put up with it at very close quarters. Eleonora,
35.
35. You put up with Marshall at very close quarters.
I am your training.
How about you, Rasheen?
I haven't actually gotten to hit anything yet, so my saves are kind of weak. So I'm only at 30.
With the 30, you also feel this incredible stench coming out from this rotting corpse. Clearly much, much stronger than just the natural process of decomposition. But you're all right, Resume.
29.
29, you're okay as well. Everyone holds off against it well enough. It's not enough to overcome any. Again, you're all in Marshall's party, so
We are offended on a daily basis.
gotta be a little worse than that. But the bear is gonna come in, and we're gonna see how bear jaws do against something a little bit smaller.
Okay.
As it opens its maw, Rashine's shield in the way, just ignoring it. The maw wide enough, almost unhinged, to just go around it entirely. It's gonna lunge at you for a 27.
A 27. Roisin actually has fended off large bite attacks before that can envelop her, and so
We've done this.
she's gonna smash the shield in one direction, smash the sword in another, and just push it up over her head where it snaps shut.
It may have ignored the shield, but that was perhaps not the wisest decision. And that is going to come to you, Rishi.
All right. Getting ready to counterattack. I was gonna push up to try to guard Marshall's flank, but the
You can
bear.
do that. It's just going to involve a shove action now.
The bear preempted me. Yeah, I'll leave Resume to deal with this bear. She can go wrestling.
You got it. It's fine. I want to Valia, too. Valia. I keep forgetting to roll initiative for Valia. That's okay. She rolled garbage anyway, so it works out.
Yay.
She would actually be below you in Trishik. She also got a nat 1.
Wow.
She would actually be there.
All right, that works.
So what happens when I
Oh,
forget? She
so-
also forgot. Anyway.
Having just fended off this bite over me, I've exposed the throat of this bear, so I'm gonna take this sword and just bring a big slash, trying to cut it up the middle as it glows with holy fire.
Well, it is undead, so it's probably going to work.
Speaking of fire, I forgot to do my fire damage.
Yes, give me your...
It was 5.
Oh, 5, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
I couldn't remember if it was the end of turn or beginning of turn, so.
All right, what do you got?
So my
Rashin?
bad.
That's gonna be a 39.
Yeah, that's a pretty good slap. It's very focused on trying to eat you, not so much on being safe. They are mindlessly trying to overrun you. 39 will critically hit.
All right. I was like,
Yep.
And holy damage.
holy damage.
Isn't this
These
the one
are
that I just crit?
This is the one that just got crit. This bear is gonna have a very short lifespan, I feel.
7.
He's having a bad day.
Let's see. I'm on minor curse, so I'm using the first damage.
Calculations flow through Nick's head.
34. Do you need to know how much of that is good damage?
It's all good damage. It's on the monster.
No, it's not
I see what you're
innately weak
Okay.
to it. It's just takes it and is not happy about
Okay,
it.
there's slashing and good damage involved.
So 34.
And if it can bleed, it's now bleeding for a d12.
It can bleed. It has not fallen apart enough to preempt bleeding. There's still a large amount of meat there.
It's bleeding and on fire.
Bleeding and on fire. It's just having a terrible. Well, the fire stopped, but it is bleeding. It took a brief burst of flame.
She's gonna reset her shield to keep the guard up again and go for a second hit.
Okay. The blood put the fire out.
Let's see. That's gonna be a 33.
33 will hit it.
Uh, 15.
And 15 is absolutely going to be enough to strike down the first of these corpse bears. This thing charges in just a quick motion. Is laid low. Unfortunately, leaving a large bear corpse in the way, but I mean, a bear corpse is not trying to maul you.
It's
So,
a different
yeah.
type of bear corpse.
Different type of bear. Yeah, the specifics matter when necromancy is involved.
Also, I need to know the level of that bear because on a critical hit with a holy rune, I heal that much.
9.
Thank you.
That's a neat crit effect on a rune.
It
That's
is.
really cool. What is that?
It's a
Holy
holy
rune.
rune.
Yeah,
Oh,
all the
really?
runes do cool stuff now. Trishik.
Well, I've been spotted by this bear.
The
other-
two below you, that
Yeah.
have like the turtle tokens, they have still no idea that you're up there. They clearly have not
They're
So-
distracted by me.
paying attention.
I'm gonna let go of the ceiling,
Okay.
drop down behind this bear, and deliver 2 quick raking strikes across the flank of this bear. With the second one being a skirmish strike, so that I can step over to here out of the way after doing my damage.
Look at these tactics. Our party's come so far.
So the first one,
for the days of doing what these bears are doing.
a 27,
27 will hit us flat-footed.
and the second one, it's talked. Better. So that's 33.
And 33 will also hit.
All right, so I get to roll a little bucket of dice.
Sneak attacks for days.
4, 5, 9, 12, 14, 21. 10, 27. And I am now...
A round number, neat.
Yeah. And I'm now over here on the other flank of the bear, keeping myself away from these
I'm
guys.
the angry bear who can't reach you past the friend bear who's in the way.
Friend bear.
Valia is gonna move up as you cut this bear down pretty quickly, taking a couple of actions to get over this, and seeing the situation Marshall's in is going to come in alongside him. Can't quite make it to a flank, what with having to pick over the corpse, but can get around for a quick strike. Her form never changing, just like she's still dueling a Scarlet Triad Enforcer, but it's a giant zombie bear that she is poking with a rapier.
Haha!
Which she is going to do for a 35, which, since she's not flanking, is just a solid poke. Surprised they don't have any kind of piercing resistance. You would think that like just poking a meat zombie wouldn't really do anything, but it's surprisingly effective, apparently.
There's things in there they care about.
Yeah, there are things in there they care about it. I mean, the necromancy, I guess, is just animating the vital organs. It's not making them unvital. For 15 points of damage. Wow, Rogue's not sneak attacking is pretty depressing.
Isn't it just?
It's almost like not being on Battle Curse.
It is. Eleonora.
How far can I move into the room with 55 in one stride?
10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
But
40,
you're hasted,
50.
And you're hasted.
One strike can get you past
Extra
the bear or down
Above.
in range of that bear.
North of Marshall. My hammer's still
That's
out.
a single stride is right there north of Marshall.
Yeah, my hammer's still out because that's what happened in combat. As Eleonora, as I round the corner, I see the corpse of a bear, and then I see 3 more undead bear. Oh, that's awful. I do not like this one bit at all. I'm gonna try to murder these things as quickly as possible. Now throw the hammer at the one that Valia stabbed at. Let's see. For a 32.
32 will bonk.
Bonk. So, I am not good with a hammer though. For a total of 14 damage.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Wop.
Alrighty. Damage is damage.
As it comes back around, I grab it, follow through with the motion, and throw it one more time at the bear with a finisher, a precise finisher.
You can do those with thrown weapons?
I have a feat.
Neat.
Yep.
She has
pretty cool.
2.
I have 2. For a 30.
A 30 will hit it again. Severin's disappointed in you.
10, 19, 25.
So many dice.
So many dice, so much math.
Alrighty?
2 actions. And then I'm gonna actually just move back behind Roshin.
I am
Dances
so
into the
happy.
room. Bonk, bonk, pirouettes out.
Pirouettes out and drops the hammer as
Jeez.
soon as they get behind Roshin.
Well,
Make haste, not waste.
Resme as Eleonora spins back into the room.
Resme will look out at these things and her eyes will glow a little and she will intone Temporis Maximus! And she will cast slow on all 3 of them.
Slow bears.
I'm gonna need 3 fortitude saves.
Nice.
Alrighty, so I'll just take these vaguely into position where the dice are. So the bear nearest Valia, where is your fortitude? Is going to get a 35.
Okay, that will succeed, so slowed for 1 round.
The next bear is going to get a 32.
That will succeed, slowed for 1 round.
And the bear close to Trishik is going to get a 38.
That's gonna succeed, slowed for 1 round.
So they're all slowed for 1 round. Those are all very close numbers I rolled.
And then Resme will go, ooh, and she'll go back behind Eleonora. Ooh, I like 2 people between me and the bears. That's even better than 1 person.
Meanwhile,
Cast
the
a light.
opposite of that, Marshall. who is busy wrestling as many bears as he can.
You think that's all you got? Ah, he's gonna psych himself up. Get that temp HP going.
Bears having no
And he's
reactions.
gonna take a swing at the one right in front of him with a flaming axe. That is going to be a 37.
37 will critically hit the bear.
On fire once
my
again.
Oh, X specialization.
And X
you got two
specialization.
bears in front of you.
Oh my god!
It happened again.
So just the axe is 17.
Okay, so 17. I'm gonna swing over to this bear also.
Yep. But the one in front of me is taking a whopping 34 plus 4, so 38 times 2. So
76.
76.
76.
Yeah, he did. That bear not alive anymore.
So I'm just cleaving sideways into this first bear and just lightly love tapping his buddy after I just carve right
bear
through
got
him.
destroyed.
So that was 2 actions, and well, with my last one, I'm gonna take swing around over my head and then take another swing at this one right here. With a -5, so 32.
32 hit him. And barbarians love low AC targets. This is great.
Okay, so that's gonna be 29 plus 6, so 35.
It's not down yet, but it's not great.
Striker.
So we are left with 2 bears with 2 actions.
Yep.
So bear 1 is gonna climb over the corpse of his extra dead friend now because there is still a Trishik over here that he would like to eat. And he's going to try to do that as he moves in, kind of surprisingly slowly, but leaving you few places to dodge, what with the mound of bears you're currently cornered by.
Well, then I'm just going to have to nimble dodge using my ability to climb up the wall to vault over his claws.
27.
I vault over his claws,
And the other bear,
conveniently just sticking to the wall as he swipes across where I was.
the other bear seems to have no interest in the tiny lady poking him and is far more interested in the axe specialization that did more damage to him than she did with her whole actual attack. And is going to continue trying to go in on Marshall here. Opening his jaws, trying to latch on, trying to get some kind of a hold here. 31.
31 will hit.
31 gonna bite you. So you are going to take 18 points of piercing damage as with
Okay.
almost half a minute of this thing brawling with you, it's finally managed to sink its teeth into you. Get a good hold of a thigh, and it is in fact going to grab on. It's going to latch and grab a hold of you. You are also grabbed. And I need a fortitude save.
34.
So again, you feel this kind of localized numbness where its fangs sink in. And just kind of curious, what is your fortitude? What is your fortitude bonus these days, barbarian
22.
man? Ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I drink and I eat. That's what I do.
Bite and grab hold is all he's got. Roshin.
All right, so Roshin is going to kind of see this thing kind of. Once again, the slow person in plate is faced with difficult terrain right now. So I'm going to start clambering. She's just going to try to clamber over this bear. She's going to make it to about there in one stride. A second stride, she's going to actually be able to move up and be right alongside Valia. And she's going to, I'm just going to go throw that shield up in the way. Actually, heck with that. I'm going to swing.
We ain't blocking. I'm gonna slap this bear.
Slap this bear.
So we have neither of these bears actually has dots on them right now. Okay.
So that, give me a minute.
Heck you, bear.
Heck you, bear. 38.
You hate bears. What happened to you in your life? Rashid hates that bears exist.
I
She
guess.
does. She can't bear
She
it.
grew up in the woods as like a little girl, and they're a menace.
That's a crit.
Thank you. Alrighty. Ooh,
Wow.
that's about
Look
as
like
much damage as I
big
can get.
numbers.
So let's see here. 25, 50.
Yep.
Well, that is no longer an alive bear. Debatably, it wasn't in the
And that was
first
the one that
place,
was
but
grabbing me, right?
That was the one that was grabbing you.
Oh, it's
and
great.
She
Just take
comes
the
up
head
and
right
just,
off.
You just see, like, I could imagine that the bear was, like, grabbing me right here, and I'm like, and then you just hack off his jaw, and I'm just like, Okay.
kind of falls to the ground.
I'll heal my last point of health that I needed.
Trishik, there's one bear remaining, and it's mad that you exist. It's also wholly undamaged.
Well, we're going to attempt to feint the bear
Okay.
because I don't have much recourse over here in the corner. I gotta do something.
Spooky bear feint.
Like holding a treat over a dog. It's just like,
Pretty much.
30.
30 will succeed.
All right.
The zombie bear is not hard to deceive.
And then I'm going to skirmish strike the bear, moving 5 feet farther away.
We got flat-footed bear because he's dumb.
To a 37.
27 will critically hit. What is this, the pig fight all over? Except the
And-
bears aren't doing anything.
I need a fortitude save from the bear, or it is slowed 1.
Again,
Again.
let me give you a 25.
He's slowed 1.
Still slowed one.
All right.
You're real terrible on that one.
15, 18, 50 damage.
Guys, where is this ferocity when we're fighting the Scarlet Triad? Why is it bears that brings out such hatred?
Bear.
And then
It's just wildlife. It's bears and pigs that you guys hate so ferociously.
And I will then mobility away 15 feet, which, because there's bodies in the way, I can only get to there. And just around the corner. I appear to have woken up bears. Thank you for help.
Hit the other bears. Well, Valia, seeing you cleave this thing down, can just get to that bear in one stride. And seeing how easily they're falling, does not have any great concern about these bears. We seem to have dealt with far worse than this. So in she goes for a 27. She's just, it's a formality at this point. We're just stabbing bears. For 14 points of damage. Where she's also there. Followed by another regular hit, which is higher, but not going to be 10 higher because agile, for 15 more points of damage. 2 quick strikes with the rapier. Eleonora.
I want to round the corner to where that bear that Trishik was fighting. How much movement would that be? I'm trying to do math.
I think it's 35 to get the
Yeah,
flanking
in that
with
case,
Valia.
I want to. If I could tumble through the bear with actually, if I have enough movement to be able to tumble through and come back out, I'm gonna try to tumble through the bear. Try to tumble through the bear. I got a 27.
Versus reflex DC?
Yeah.
That will succeed.
Okay.
It is a zombie bear.
And I do pull out my sword. That's 2 actions.
Okay.
We're just gonna bleeding finisher. We're just gonna go ahead, go straight for the finisher
Fair enough. That's who I know at this point.
for a 38.
oh,
Crits. You know it crits. 37 crit when you weren't flanking. You guys hate that animals exist.
Yeah.
They're scary, and this one smells.
they all smell terrible.
They do smell terrible.
It don't smell as bad as Marshall. Remember this.
23. 9 times 2, so
58.
58. 58 damage.
What do you do to the bear? What do you do to the bear, Eleanor? What happens to this
As I
sad animal? Just doing what he was supposed to do. Just
run past Trishik,
bear stuff.
I see the bear halfway launched, going after him as he runs away. I pull the blade into his gut, turn back around with the blade behind my back, and just kind of tumble out, eviscerating it
Bear didn't deserve this.
as I 5-foot step away. It's part of my exemplary finish.
So, having thoroughly eviscerated a group of zombie bears in what ended up
Barely
being a
breaking
really
sweat.
fantastic one of those, wow, we're super cool now encounters.
That was pretty cool.
What was it?
It was
These bears all collapse back to the dead heaps that you had once seen, Trishik, but now massively more injured. Most of them, all of them, minus the southern one, bearing the huge cleaving strikes of Marshall's axe that just ripped right through their dead flesh and brittle bones like it was nothing, and the other one, Eleonora, much having done the same. It's going to take a little more than just animated necromancy to make them a threat again at this point.
That was curious.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sort of curious. Why would they have these bears right in... Can you imagine these stone giants sleeping next to these things?
They smelled horrible.
Oh, stone giants didn't smell that great either.
Good point.
Yeah, I suppose. Do you know that you can't smell yourself when you smell bad?
Is that why everyone keeps handing me soap?
Yes.
Speaking of which, I pull out another bar of soap.
I just smack it out of your head. Get out of the way. But for safekeeping, I really don't like necromancers. I go up to the corpses of the bears and just start lighting them on fire.
What?
Just with your axe?
Yes.
It'd be kind of hard to get him to catch just with the
Please,
little
Marshall, they smell
hitting it.
terrible enough as it is.
Oh, God, no, I don't want burning,
Roisin.
decrepit bear.
Miss Roisin, can you do me a favor and just stab those bears with your sword that's holy infused? Make sure they're down and down for good.
They're in pieces, Eleanor, but if it makes you feel better.
It will make me feel much better.
That's why Marshall's burning them.
It's just kind of curious. It seems to branch off here. We have this strange passage to the south, and the rest of the quarry seems to head around north.
has dark vision. I know you do.
I can't have it.
Well, you don't have dark vision.
You
So
have-
you do. Do
you
you
have
have your
goggles.
goggles on still during this
Less
fight?
than an hour.
So yeah, like you still have them. I guess you would have taken them
Yeah,
off.
I
because the
can't
fight
take
kinda
them off. It
started.
immediately dispels it. So
So, Marshall, as you're making your way around here with Roshi and hacking away at these corpses, this passage to your south, it does fade off into darkness after about 15 or 20 feet. The light dispersing into just blackness, which doesn't bother you. It just means the color kind of disappears from everything,
Okay.
which maybe makes this a little spookier. You can see at the far end of this hall,
there's a really tall man
what looks
standing
like
at the end of the hall.
50, 60 feet away,
Okay.
is another giant, but this one clad far differently than the ones that you had seen in the room prior. He is wearing a fur, almost like a traveler's robe. It's just all the way down from where the fur, the interior fur brushes against the floor, to the leathered outside, up to a hood drawn up over his head.
And it's another giant.
And he is another giant, yes. He is clearly about 13 feet tall.
Can I see his face at all, or?
You can see his face, and then, I mean, you got dark vision. It's black and white. It's exceptionally gaunt. He does not look well. But he's standing here in another chamber to the south that this passageway seems to connect to. Standing before a strange shrine of some kind. It looks to be equal parts anvil and altar. Almost like something you would see back in the Five Kings Mountains.
I look over to Resme. Missy,
Yes?
down the hall. There's a giant with robes, and I think he's a necromancer because there's an altar.
You pointed him, he is sitting there just staring at you. He can you're in a well-lit room. He can see all of you. But he is standing there, stave in hand, topped with what looks like the skull of some kind of a large cat. Vines wrapping down the top half of the shaft, just watching the group of you.
Revelarum. Detect magic.
Your detect magic obviously would come back with a pretty powerful aura of necromancy across the bears scattered throughout the room. But it doesn't ping anything else. It only reaches 30 feet.
Would you perhaps have a potion or two that I could consume?
Oh, here, let me take it. Let me patch you up. A krasach. And she's gonna throw off a couple of heals at you.
Well, let me know when you want to continue down there.
22.
Marshall's gonna pull out his
And 23.
medical potatoes out of his bag.
You gonna rest for 10 minutes here while a giant necromancer stares at you?
Oh yeah, that's right. I thought it. I keep forgetting it takes 10 minutes. My bad. In that case, I'm just gonna have my axe ready and just kind of keep doing the stare down with him.
You're looking at him. He's looking at you. You guys are in a well-lit room. You're looking directly at him. It's obvious that you see him.
Mm-hmm.
And you are really just in a standoff here. He doesn't make any motion to do anything, really. He just watches.
Appreciate it.
Trishik, As you're still back here in the corner and hadn't really got an opportunity to see in this hall yet, it's just Marshall that sees him unless you would come around to look as Marshall points it out, in which case you would see the same thing.
I would come around after that's been pointed out, yeah.
Yeah, then you would also see this thing.
I'll activate my dark vision on my amulet.
And then you too would be able to see this strange giant at the far end of the hall.
So this giant you're pointing out, is he like working with the Triad, you think, or?
Would I be able to see any emblems or anything like that? on him?
He's not dressed at all like a Triad member in any way that you can see.
Not that I can
appears
see.
to just be standing there.
What if
But
he's not a-
as you start to discuss here, as you with dark vision would see, as he raises his free hand out towards the group of you and gestures to come forth.
Well, Roshin, we've already accepted one invitation today, and I have a feeling this is one we shouldn't refuse.
What in the world are you talking about?
We'll talk about it later. I have a feeling that we should go down there.
I'll be in the front.
Feeling we should be going down there.
I have a feeling we shouldn't. I can't see anything down that hall, but from the sounds of it, don't sound pleasant.
Lassie, just put your hand on my shoulder and follow closely.
Roshin, can you see in the dark?
We have...
Not that darkness. It's very dark.
There is a torch on the wall, right there.
Oh, you could grab that. That's fine. But actually, Resme, if you wouldn't mind, put a bit of light on the shield.
Oh, of course.
Shield, preferably, and get a light spell on my shield.
Alrighty.
Shoulder mounted flashlight.
So with your lit up shield here, the group of you move. You got to be kind of close together. There's not a ton of space.
Yeah.
To make your way down this passage.
Can I get a look at any of the symbols or any of the writing once we start getting closer?
You can see that behind this creature, and as you come into the room, you see that he is not alone. Off to the side, there are another pair of the stone giants standing there, clubs in hand, but also simply just waiting. They're not aggressive. They don't immediately attack you at all. They don't say anything or even react to you as you come into the room other than just to watch you silently as you enter. And as you come closer, you can see that this robed giant is not just gaunt. He is skeletal. The face in his hood, nothing more than an ashen gray skull with two small pinpricks of light deep within, behind where the eye sockets once gave him normal sight. Similarly, the hand extending from his robe, grasped around his staff, is nothing but bones as well. The two giants at his flank look much like the stone giants that you had fought in the adjoining chamber. However, each of them has their faces painted with ash or soot in the depiction of a similar skull. As you come closer, and you can see the inside of the room, behind this altar or anvil thing, the size of a wagon that's coming up to the shoulders of even the giants, dominating this chamber, you can see there's a painted fresco across the black wall, crumbling, decrepit in places, as it's clearly been here for an incredible amount of time, showing a mountain, a massive mountain reaching up into the heavens, with a similar enormous anvil perched at its peak. Writing goes down the walls in rows and rows and rows of script to your right and to your left, which has also in many places started to crumble and fall away. It's written in a language none of you would recognize. Not even looking at the writing, you wouldn't even know what it was.
With the iconography, could I maybe try to recall some knowledge about it?
You could perhaps give me a religion.
I have that. You want me to roll it?
Yeah, there's not a critical failure thing here I'm super worried about.
That's a 22.
So with a 22, you would recognize the iconography of certainly bearing some kind of religious meaning, but it's a deity you're unfamiliar with. It's
Okay.
certainly one that you wouldn't have heard of ever. But coming into the room, seeing all of this, you thinking, the giant again raises its free hand, palm outstretched, with bones as it is, fingers upright. You are not with them.
No.
In common.
In common. Respond. No. The Triad, the slavers. We're here to destroy them.
The diplomacies, the politics of mankind do not interest me. You enter this sacred chamber. All that is of import is how you can serve Minderhall.
Mineral, it is good to know the name of our host who has invited us here.
He turns and passes staff gestures at this fresco and the anvil shrine behind him. Minderhall, the maker and the unmaker, hold sway over all domain across this plane or any like it.
Really bold claims in a polytheistic society. What is this shaken Roshin's memory at all with this new information?
Maybe it would be a name that you've passively heard of, but again, not if Minderhall's a deity, it's not one that you know anything about.
Okay. Perhaps we need not be all diplomatic-like, but it seems though that Minderhall may have some use for us here, and perhaps we can come to some arrangement.
I have seen your eyes fall upon these runes, the script of this chamber. And you read it,
It is unknown to me.
and perhaps there is still use for you in death. And goes to incant a spell.
Okay.
Oh.
Friendliness does not seem to last terribly long. And at that, it is certainly going to be some initiative. You definitely could be scouting here, as I'm sure those of you at the back are very
I've
alert
been-
for how this could go super
I
south
have been
immediately.
keeping a mean eye on him the entire time.
Quick question: has it been longer than a minute, technically speaking?
Yeah, it's been,
Yeah.
you have to
Okay.
get organized and
I'll
come
roll.
down here.
I'll roll one.
Just making sure.
And Roshin is going to just shout out, Gerakahach! And this ripple of energy will fly out over everyone. So that's the battle cry spell. So everybody gets +2 status to initiative as
Which
well.
is different from the battle cry feat.
Which is different from the battle cry feat, which I'm also doing with the same shout.
Same.
And call to arms spell, I'm
are
sorry.
they both free actions or are they both reactions?
Call to arms is a reaction that triggers when I roll initiative.
Okay, is also battle cry because you can only get one reaction off of a trigger.
Battle cry is free action that occurs when I roll initiative.
Okay, fair
Don't know
enough.
why they did it that way, but it
I
works
guess so
out.
you can do both.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna get that giant right there.
And you said that gives us a +2 to initiative?
Gives it +2 status, which stacks with a +1 circumstance from scouting. So we're at +3 right now.
Cool.
Pretty neat.
Oh, and everyone gets 6 temporary hit points.
Oh. Why did you
My
say so?
stony boys. Here's some stony boys. And here is a
Is
spooky, scary skeleton.
Ooh.
I hate him.
the giant?
We shall call him Skeletor.
All right, Marshall, what you got for initiative?
For initiative, I got 30, and for my battle cry on that giant over there, I got 34.
Okay, so I'm gonna just pop this up here real quick so I can see it more easily. 34 is going to critically succeed. This giant is terrified of the presence of this weird dwarf.
I just
Trishik,
yell at him.
38.
38, much better. Resume
That was not a
35.
1 on the dice.
and Roshin.
35.
Who wants to go first?
Definitely you.
I'll take it.
Honora.
After them. I want to see how this plays out.
Give it a minute. So let me get 2 giants.
Eek.
Our minions will be acting. What'd you get, Marshall?
I got a 30.
You got 30. They got 31.
Okay.
So our 2 giants are going to be just before, and our
Skeleton.
necromancer boy is coming in with a 36.
And Valia.
Valia. Yeah, Valia. That's a
Can't
thing.
forget Valia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he beat that by 1 too. Yeah. A lot of buy ones in here. And Valia, who is a person who was in this combat. That's super cocked. Also gets a 36. So puts her before you two, but behind this guy.
I saw this one coming from a mile away.
Trishik's like, that's a giant skeleton man. This ain't gonna go well. And in fact, you are the first to react.
Well, conveniently, my bow's
What is
coming
your
up.
what is your light? You have light on your shield, right?
Light on my shield, and I'm holding it up. Oh, can that be raised shield?
Yeah, you could definitely be raised.
Woo!
Yeah.
Feel I'm gonna need it.
I'll stick with my axe.
Sweet Trishik, sorry.
Well, I'm gonna bring my bow up and launch one shot at each of my new targets, starting with Captain Skeletor.
Man.
Got promoted to captain.
Or a 29 against his flat-footed.
29, your arrow will punch into his robe and find nothing. He is a skeleton. That is not going to hit.
All right, and on to target 2 and target 3. Left one first, my left.
Okay.
For 25.
25 will hit the flat-footed.
And the one on the right, a nat 20.
That 20 will definitely hit the flat-footed.
So, the one on the left is just going to get this in d6 bleed. (27) and d6 bleed, and the one on the right, he gets hit just a little bit harder.
Little bit. I'll say that for your roll. Your roll's very nice.
11, 16, 18 to 36 plus d10, which is a 10, so 46, and d12 bleed.
Okie dokie.
Oh, can I get my battle cry off on Boss Man?
Oh yeah.
May I use intimidating prowess since I fully intend to chop
Yeah,
him with the sword?
you are right here. You were clearly reacting poorly to his offer.
Negotiations are broken down.
37.
37. As you yell at him, you feel like he understands you. You've got a good position here, but he does seem wholly unfazed.
Look at that guy.
Does not seem to be bothered by mortal concepts like fear and emotions.
Thing.
All right, so is that you, Trishik?
Yep.
Bunch of
3
arrows.
arrows.
Right guy's pinned, right? You have critical specialization?
Yes.
Yeah, so
On
right guy
sneak
is
attacks.
pinned to the floor somehow, the stone chamber. How does that happen?
Well, see, it's not that he's actually stuck to the floor. It's under his kneecap.
Oh, so we can't move his leg very easily. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. You got
to the knee.
So as he's got this staff and he raises his other hand, as these arrows come through, landing pretty soundly on his guards, but one punching into his robe, doing absolutely nothing. It's obscuratus saluti. And he conjures up a bead in his hand. The light from your spell seeming to draw out from your shield into this, almost a globe of purified darkness, which he doesn't fling or throw so much as he just releases. As it floats out down the hall a ways, bursting in shadows behind you. And I need a reflex save from everybody.
Arcane countermeasure.
You haven't gone yet. You can have a reaction.
Oh, that's right. I do not.
Can I use Bulwark on my armor?
Yeah, it is a standard reflex save. It is the wave of darkness hitting you like a fireball.
Marshall is gonna catch up on his footing and spend that hero point to get better balance there.
Please no. It went past us and exploded from behind. No one's ready for this.
Better.
This isn't like the shadow explosion where I can use will if I want to, is it?
There's not. No, it's not fake shadow
Not
explosion.
fake shadow explosion, okay.
Alrighty, so Trishik.
36, and if I succeed, it's critical.
Okie dokie. So you are able to duck under this. You are good at dodging things. Going behind you does not bother him with your quick reactions. You were super ready for it. Marshall.
29.
29, you are going to take... I'm going to start rolling as we get to a point where it matters. You're going to take...
Door. That's the door slam.
Oh,
I just realized I haven't actually had to roll a reflex save like that in a while.
38 points of cold damage.
Youch.
Oof.
The hallway is subjected to subarctic temperatures.
And 23 points of negative damage. So that's going to be 66 points total if you have no interaction with cold or negative.
I do not.
Eleonora,
31.
you're also going to take 66 points of cold and negative.
And if it's a success, it's the same as his.
It did fail.
Yeah, I think I did.
So the part of that is negative energy damage. Does that affect you differently? Okay, Rasheen.
So I haven't hit anything yet, so it's a 28.
28 is also going to take 66 mixed cold and negative. Resme.
32.
32 is also going to take 66.
Jeez.
Additionally, this darkness draws the light from Roshin's shield.
Entirely?
Well, it depends. What's your... You cast it, right? Resme, you cast that light spell? Mm-hmm. What's your spell DC?
30.
Spell DC is 30, okay. 38 counteract check. It is going to draw the light out of your shield entirely, plunging the room into complete darkness. So the right side of the... Oh, you cast dark vision thing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's still active. You two are completely blind as this wave of shadows wipes out your vision. The rest of you, the three that can still see in the dark, are going to see that as Roshin seems to clearly be affected by this, shield up, her gaze almost immediately drifting a bit as she can no longer see you, like, recover from this stumbling blast.
Okay.
He sticks his other hand out, balls it into a loose fist, and reaches out like it's a strike, but just right in front of him, nowhere in range of anybody. As he does, you would see a bony hand surge upward from the floor in front of Roshin, swinging at her, mirroring his movements.
Can one of us call out?
Absolutely. You can-
Roshin! Get out of the way!
Roshin,
She
I'm
can't-
just gonna be like, what?
What is dodge? I don't know what that is.
And as this comes out, Roshin, almost startled by this, is stumbling back again. It looks like it's going to miss, but he opens his hand, flaring the fingers for a villain point, to smack back at her with these massive stone fingers. And they do seem to be made of stone. He's warping the stone itself in the shape of his own bony hand. For a reroll, to give us a 34 to hit.
A 34, that's gonna just kind of collapse her guard, and she's kind of looking around, and one of the things is gonna catch her right in the face.
Okie dokie. So you are going to take 13 points of negative damage. And 22 points of bludgeoning damage. This guy loves his mixed damage. I need you to
see
make
that.
me a fortitude save.
Jeez.
All right, hang on, still subtracting.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, natural 20 for a. All right, I haven't hit anything yet, so
Volley is a reflex save.
down
Volley
to
is also
17.
here.
So 37 with a nat 20.
And with that, as this thing crunches and flicks into your armor, you don't feel any kind of secondary effects at all. So, Valia, who is also pretty hurt by this explosion, and is also blind, because she doesn't have dark vision either, is gonna hold for a minute. She knows she's in the middle of the pack, and she can't see at all, so... You hear her call out in pain from this blast. She also failed, but what else she could do at the moment? Rasheen.
Okay, so that storm of red mist is kind of flowing around her. She can't see it, but I can feel it healing my wounds a bit. So first I'll do that. Being blind is not a good thing. So I'm gonna touch, hold my sword aloft. Solas. And
That's what you see.
That's also what I see.
Solas, and then the light's gonna come back, or try to, I guess. Okay, good. Not a persistent.
Yeah, it is not a persistent effect.
Screw your
It
darkness.
did just dispel your magic. So as you cast your spell, the light beams back out once more. And she was holding until she could see anything, so she's going to have to heal.
As seeing the giant within range right now, is going to flick her sword around after she casts light on it to slash it through this giant's kneecaps. So that's a 22 now. 22 to hit.
22 versus regular giant is, as you come through and swing, it's just going to...
Did I say 22?
Yes.
32.
32 will hit. Okay. Like, that's just gonna, like, what the heck did you roll?
Sorry,
was that
that's,
a 1?
that's my bonus. I just
Okay,
told you my
like,
bonus.
are you asking in seriousness if the 22 hits? Like,
All right, so let's see, 15, 18 plus moderate curse damage, 24 slashing and good combined.
okay.
Don't you threaten him with a good time.
Alright, so now Valia can see. But seeing does not mean that going forward is immediately the best thing to do. She is going to hold until after Marshall. Because that was spooky, and she heard crunching armor in the couple seconds of darkness, and she's not interested to charge into whatever happened. Resume?
How far out is 30 feet? Can you give me the little arrow thing that you like
I
to
cannot.
give me?
Arkenforge doesn't have that, but 30 feet is to the skeleton giant.
Okay.
Like
so
the
if
front
it,
half of he's 30 and 35.
It will hit him though, right?
Yes.
If I do 30 feet? Okay, great. Resme will start to chant, and you'll feel healing energy start to move out through her, but it feels different than it normally does. And as she extends it out through her, she'll say, Donum vitae exsanguinum. And I'm going to cast a 3-action heal at them to try to do positive energy damage.
Guess who definitely has negative healing? It's this guy who's literally a skeleton. Okay, so it's a fort save? This happens so
Yeah, it's a
rarely.
fort
I think it's a
save.
fort save for
It
him.
is.
Yeah, okay.
I get a ghost.
24.
it's a
That is
fail.
going to fail,
So he's gonna take all the damage.
and I'll cast it as a level 4. Which is
Plus
just
32.
plus
No,
32.
not plus anything.
When you do the
Only
3
2
action
gets the
yeah.
plus. It's just dice on 3 action.
Are you doing a 3-action? Oh, to hit
Yeah,
everybody.
she's doing the burst to heal everybody and to hurt him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
the 4d8.
The 2 action doesn't do the plus on damage either. It's only if you're using it to help.
That'd be harm.
That's going to be 16 points of positive damage and 16 points of healing to everybody.
Okay,
I
so
will take it.
you will see that glow almost charring the front of his skeletal face a bit, and burning the tips of his outstretched fingers as he's still doing this motion, bleaching them a little as he takes that damage. Everyone else is going to heal for 16. That does include the other 2 giants that are alive.
Neither of them healed to full, correct?
No, neither of them are healed to full. They are still bleeding. And that's going to bring us to giants. The giant on the left immediately engaged in battle here with Roshin, who sees that you are a big threat and sees these spells being cast. She is going to step up alongside you, putting that motion into a pivot as she brings her great club off the floor where she was holding it and swinging around wide your direction. Gonna come in for a 38.
38 is just going to be a normal hit, thankfully.
Shields are cool.
Well, no, and actually, she just doesn't crack me. I did get the shield up last turn
Oh, fair enough.
because I had to throw the light up, but it's not enough. Even
So-
with I hit her, and that's why.
Throw her off target just enough. But it's still going to catch you. You're going to take some damage. Only 17 bludgeoning. Pretty bad roll, actually.
I'll be grateful.
Shoulder much of the weight of that, but it is going to bat you backwards.
Oh, they can pinball me.
That provokes Neo, and he bats you across the
That'd be the greatest monster mechanic ever.
Giant shuttlecock. They just hit you back with those reactions. But the other one is going to step forward into this new gap in front of the necromancer. They are clearly moving and doing as much as they can to put themselves in the way of him. They're attempting the athletics check to pull it out. Yeah, there's only got 1 action left. You can't fail it. Like a natural 1 still passes. But it's only like DC 20, right?
It's DC 10.
DC. Oh yeah, that one still passes.
The point is it takes an action.
Yeah, but then she steps over and she can't do big swings. She's only got 1 action left. But she does have 10 feet reach, and she is going to swing at the lightest armored person that she can see in front of her. Can't reach wizard lady. Can reach literally everybody else.
I'm not a wizard.
I would
doesn't know
probably
that.
be the lightest armored, seeing as I'm not wearing it.
It is,
I'm
yeah.
not wearing armor either.
Well,
You're wearing
you are
it.
in the front and also then not wearing armor, so it's going to be Eleonora.
Yeah.
Who's going to get bamped for
Nimble
a
dodge.
31.
But not. That does hit.
Exactly.
That's exactly
exactly.
your nimble dodge, right?
Yeah.
You are going to catch
Ouch.
24 points of bludgeoning damage. And they're both bleeding for an amount.
This one bled for 7, the other one bled for 5.
And they're both still bleeding.
Bleed is nice.
Bleed is nice.
It's not massive, it's consistently it's there.
So,
All right, Marshall.
so
These
if I drop my axe and pull out my hammer, is that a free action or is that
Dropping
still-
is a free action, pulling is not.
Okay. Well, either way, because yeah. All right. So I'm gonna drop my axe. I'm just gonna look at it. Just a minute. Sorry, Big Red. You ain't gonna be for this job. Drop my axe.
You got bones to smush.
Pull out rectangle.
That's the noise it makes when you hit people with rectangle.
Whap.
Whap.
Oh wait, I can't grow.
Can't grow right here. You're
Well, actually,
completely
what I
blocked in.
can do now that I have my hammer, instead, I can shove him back.
You can absolutely shove him back. You'll get the +1 from your hammer's rune.
That is with athletics. That's gonna be a 36.
36 will succeed, shoving this giant back just in front of the skeleton, which you can follow if you wish.
Yep, because I have an ability that does that too, I think, too.
That's just part of shoving. If you
Oh,
shove
that's part of
somebody, you
shoving,
can go
okay.
with them as part of it. If you
All
want
right,
to.
so and for my last action, then I'll rage and grow.
You still have room to grow.
Huh?
You still don't have room.
Can you shunt Eleanor with a grow? Or?
Cannot.
Ah.
Oh, well, in that
You can
case.
still rage, you just
So you
can't
can rage,
get
you just can't get big.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just normal rage then. Which is weird for Marshall, but normal rage.
Boring rage.
Jammed up in this crypt, you see him kind of like ripple and surge a bit without brushing against the giant and
Poking
Rasheen
veins.
and Eleanor. Without this space, his body doesn't grow. It doesn't expand.
Yeah.
Valia
I'll take out some kneecaps.
is gonna move up, try and fan this out a bit. Skirt past Eleonora towards the corner. And as she twirls past you, making like she'll pivot that into a strike, but flipping around at the last moment to come from the other direction. Which, now with all of her balance slotted into one side, she seems to be able to do much more nimbly.
She's learning.
Natural 20 to feint.
Ooh.
So,
I
that actually
believe
matters.
That makes them flat-footed to
that
everyone.
feints to everybody. That giant's flat-footed to the whole team until Valia's turn again.
Absolutely
She broke this
broke
dude's
his
ankles. He like lunges the wrong direction and stumbles. And then she goes in for a stem. This is a natural 1. So, put it all into the big feint.
I'll give you my non-existent hero point here to
Put it all into the big feint. Pivots a little too hard and goes to throw out an arm that no longer exists to counterbalance herself, stumbling with a miss on the follow-up. But that ankle of the giant still totally shattered. Doesn't know where he is. Flat-footed to everyone. Clearly off balance. Eleonora.
Well, with Resume's heal spell, Eleanor actually gasps for air, bends forward, and then gets hit in the back by a club. And when she looks back up, she's filled with rage. She also rages.
Secret Barbarian level rips her shirt off. We can't do that. This is a family show.
So she's gonna swing first at the giant in front of her because she's not stupid. She's angry. 25.
It's not flanked. It's 25. Oh, it's
Flat-footed.
flat-footed. It's 25 will hit it.
Oh, that will hit.
Yeah, look, Valia doesn't get the follow-up, but you do.
I did. I capitalize.
Trips into your sword.
I'll almost roll max damage. 14, 19, 29 points of damage.
Ooh.
Gonna go for a second swing. As a critical finish or as a bleeding finisher. For a 34 minus 5,
That's a 29.
29.
29 will hit.
29 will hit. So for another,
My math.
thank you for math. 10, 20, 30, 39 points of damage. 5-foot step back into the hallway as part of the exemplary finisher.
Solid pair of strikes.
And then move action back behind Trishik and Rosemary.
Whoop. And with this
does not look good.
With this giant stumbling and these two quick big slashes, it almost brings the leftmost giant down in a flash of steel. The one on the right, pushed so hard by Marshall, she's almost stumbling. Both almost falling back into the skeletal necromancer. Both of the giant frontliners not doing super good. Trishik. Also, she's still frightened one, so that was one off critically succeeding at the show.
Well, I see the weakness of the broken ankles, and I go to capitalize. Plink, plink, plink. And if at any point one of these takes them down, I will transition over to shooting the one in front of Marshall.
Yeah, fair enough.
But until the room is opened up, I don't exactly have the freedom of doing much. So,
Crypt fights.
28 to flat-footed.
28 will hit flat-footed.
20.
Okay.
All right, so 33 to
33 will
flat-footed.
hit again.
16.
16 will bring the stumbling giant down. That pair of arrows enough to take the first of them.
All right. And because we are fancy sniper lizard assassin man, this arrow is going to the necromancer.
Okay, you just shoot past the guy in the front.
I'm going to lay a hard 20 right on the necromancer.
Do it. Just
Do
do
it.
it.
Not 14, not
It's
bad.
not a 20.
Nope, that is a 26. So
26 are
not
definitely
quite going to
not
get
gonna
there.
hit. No, another arrow hanging from his robes as the group of you push into the chamber a little bit, moves his hand over, the katana full of gorum, and waves it to the side of the giant stumbling in front of him, seemingly unfazed by their plight, as energy, much brighter now, crackles up along his forearm into his fingertips, released down towards Rasheen as a bolt of lightning. And
Now I'm gonna cast Arcane Countermeasure.
okie dokie, and quickly, reactively, you throw up arcane countermeasures, and
You'll hear Resme intone the same thing he just did, but backwards. And it almost sounds unreal to your ears that she could do that so quickly.
the counterspelling or just saying it in Satan. Well,
I speak Cthulian
fluently.
fluently.
All right, Rasheen, give me a reflex save.
Yay.
You're gonna get a bonus to
My
this.
favorite kind of save.
Great at these.
Alrighty. So let's see. Going to. It's actually better than it was last time.
Isn't Cthulhian basically like tentacle noises?
So you're gonna get +2 to that.
I'll take it. So that's going to be. Actually, it's 18 times 2. So 36.
36 will succeed. You get to take a half. Neato.
And that will get reduced by 1, the spell level, if it matters.
If it's like dex per level, it'd be.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let me check one more time. Does it actually? It does not know. Math. Math. You are going to take 29 points of electricity damage, and this bolt hits and surges into Marshall. Make me a reflex save.
You get the same +2.
+2.
It's for everyone.
30?
58 points of electric damage as it arcs back to Trishik. I should probably pass to Valia next. You can see her. Valia is the next in line. Valia also gets the +2.
Mm-hmm. Everybody.
It's against the spell, not the.
Right.
Money on that chain lightning.
She's gonna get a 41. She'll take 29. Then back to Trishik.
Doesn't succeeding.
No.
No, it's got you
Critically
gotta
succeed.
critically succeed.
Ah, well, let me do that real quick.
Man,
Here it is.
so cocky.
Nat 1.
Duh.
Are you?
You
alright?
wanna That's a nat 1. You obviously failed the reflex save
All right, so
after fumbling to roll it 4 times.
38.
And with the 38, the lightning that surges back from Valia blasts into the wall behind Trishik, finally dissipating. As
I don't get hit. and I'm happy.
Oh, I guess that'd even be a 40 because of the +2.
As he takes that hand, closing it almost to a clawed figure, and swipes downward in an angle. As this same hand, the previous one that had come to strike at Racine, just collapsing into rubble, leaving a bit of almost like a pipe hole in the floor, emerges out from the wall next to Resme, clawing down at her.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Nimble dodge.
neat.
No, I can't. I just used reaction.
Cannot.
That's okay.
You have hit points.
I do.
42.
That will critically succeed.
And the
You had hit
hand...
points.
I had.
Make me a fortitude save while I roll dice. This guy's the dice master of Earth.
Jeez, man.
Someone please.
Whoa! Nice.
Honey Badger don't care.
Someone please take care of this fella.
Trying.
I nominate you.
I nominate myself to bat.
34 total points of damage.
I can take that.
Mixed negative and
Don't make
bludgeoning.
a habit of it.
I'm not gonna make a habit of it.
Oh,
that's-
sorry. 68. That was a critical hit. 68 points of bludgeoning and negative.
It's gonna be 38 on my fortitude save.
All right, and as this kind of rakes through you, you feel a similar numbness to what they had experienced on the bears. You haven't felt it before, but the stone claws sharpened, just even at their points, hit you like a sledgehammer. They're so large and swung, and they swing with such force. Even given the fact that he seems to barely just be making like relaxed, almost casual motions as to hit you with as much bludgeoning damage as it does. Strikes a numbness through your body, making that side of your arm and your shoulder almost start to feel difficult to move. But it's not going to be quite enough to mechanically affect you.
So I'm starting to feel like Valia.
Can't say
Oh,
that. That's rude. That's rude. Rasheen.
I am just burned and bleeding and
Valia also
negative
looks pretty
damaged.
severely injured.
I'm looking pretty rough myself.
just gonna pull this just pull this magic back together. Krasach, and hit herself with it because she needs the help. Let's see here. That's gonna be 10, 21, 23, 63 health will come back. Not quite to fighting fit, but better. And then for last action, I'm gonna whip this sword around and try to dig it into this giant's thigh here. Red roll hit first. For a nat 20.
Yeah, well, thigh dug. That's mission accomplished.
Whap. Okay, 10, 16, moderate curse bonus, 22, 44 points of good and slashing damage.
Yeah, so these giants are in fact evil, unlike the other stone giants you'd found in the other room. These ones, pledged as they are to this service, they are definitely going to take the extra holy damage. 44?
44 in total, yes. And what's his level? Because I healed that on a crit.
9.
Okay, so...
Very nice.
And he's now bleeding for D12.
Ooh, big bleed. He's still frightened too, so he's having a tough day. All right. My persistent damage.
Is he bleeding D12 from you as well?
Was that the
Oh,
guy
he's
you
already bleeding
Was he the
D12
guy you
from,
criticaled? I'd marked the wrong giant. All right. Then
Still
he's
bleeding D12.
Extra bleeding D12. That's all 3 of my actions.
Alrighty, resume.
Resume, with a last-ditch effort, trying to save her friends, will throw out a band of temporal energy and attempt to slow him.
Okay.
So he can make me a reflex save.
Fortitude save.
Sorry.
That
It
was
wasn't even
reflex.
remotely correct.
You can totally, I can understand thinking it's, well, where'd reflex come from?
Because, he's...
32.
He will succeed, but he will be slowed for 1 round. And I'm going to move the hell down the hallway 25 feet.
Back it up.
35 feet, actually.
Back it up. Alrighty.
I don't blame you.
So I'm going to expand this a little bit, so you guys will have to reshuffle your tokens since we are expanding the field of battle here.
In fact, if I can get around that corner so where he can't really see me, that would be total money for
You
me.
can get entirely
Nice.
around the corner.
That is
I can give you
happiness
light
right
so you can
there.
see, because that room is perfectly well lit. Now it's going to be a little bit of Jenga with the tokens because we are on a much larger scale now, but advantages of digital tabletop, even though we have like the actual table here, and since I changed everything around, I really need to brighten this camera input.
You're talking really, really, really
We
fast.
can scale things, so that's pretty cool. I think.
You can't scale minis though.
Can't scale the minis. So the minis are what they are. So the remaining stone giant here is bleeding severely and also frightened. Is going to look down. Which of you got plate armor and you got angry dwarf.
The one that frightened it.
Plate armor, yeah, you frightened it and shoved her back, and then plate armor landed a really big hit. So she's just got almost a retaliatory swing out towards Rasheen. You're the one responsible for the source of most of her sadness right now. 28.
28 actually. Because I hit her, just gonna whip that sword back up into a watershed and just knock that club away.
So this club just goes flying up into the air. She lets go of it with one hand, just to swipe down, almost backhanding at you as this club goes so wide she couldn't possibly recover it from another blow in time. Which is going to be a natural 20. So you got a good watershed, but you're going to get the backhand.
Wham! Right in the face.
Pow, right in the kisser.
Blood spat. Pow! Right in the kisser.
That's how they get you.
You're going to take 42 points of bludgeoning damage.
To the moon, Alice.
And that's going to be it for her. Left wildly out of position. Her club swung back behind her. Another hand smashed down through Oshi. And she is like as open gets here. Marshall.
So I can't really tell with all the figurines on there.
You
Do I
absolutely
have?
got big boy room.
Okay, I have big boy room. Well, I'm a go big boy room.
Hey, look, the minifig.
Ah! And then I'm going to psych myself up because I need that hit points. And then
Not dying is cool.
I'm going to bonk the scaredy giant in front of me.
Oh, she's not frightened anymore. She doesn't come down now.
She is bleeding.
Yeah,
though.
somebody give me the bleed.
4.
Not specific as to who, because you both put d12s on her.
Does a 28 hit her?
28 will hit her, yes.
Ha! Bonk. Le bonk. So that's gonna be 21 plus 6 Sonic, so 27.
Okay. Still holding. Staggered back, but still holding.
Okay.
And Valia.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Valia's pretty hurt. Valia's pretty hurt. Valia doesn't want to go in to get killed town. But, she is going to stagger around the outskirts of the chamber here. As you can see, severely bloodied, kind of stumbling to keep her footing. Coming around to a clear view of both of the giants in the center of the chamber here. And as she does, she's using her rapier hand, her only hand, for support on the wall, really. She's not positioning herself for a strike of any kind at all. But you can see her eyes light up a bit, and a bit of energy glowing out around her mouth. As she comes around this corner, she whips her head out towards the giants, opens her mouth, and just releases an enormous blast of freezing energy across the room. A
The
bright,
secret weapon.
searing flash of Arctic cold.
Marshall would legitimately react to this by going,
Oh, she.
"Oh,
She's gonna
that's neat."
blow the necromancer's robes back a bit. Icicles flying horizontally across him from the force of the blow as he looks completely unfazed. Giant in front of him, probably gonna have a worse time. He's gonna succeed. He's gonna take half. He doesn't have a lot of health though.
Is Resme in that room? I just saw a blast of something.
You saw Resme run past you.
I'm confused. I saw her run that way. How is she that way?
Nice.
Oh, that
Whoa.
that dude's not even at half. He didn't need that last one. That ice, as you knock that giant askew with your hammer, is going to send them frozen to the floor, where their body, as they land, is physically going to shatter into their limbs cracking off like a frozen sculpture as they hit the stone, leaving just the necromancer before you here. And after that, Valia is going to almost double over, dropping about to her knees, almost disappearing behind the corpse of the first giant here against the wall. Eleonora.
Eleanor is actually going to retreat further back down the hallway with Resume. Yeah, I'm going to be right next to Resume. I'm going to be in front of Resume.
In front of Resume,
Yep.
okay.
I'm going to pull out a potion and just chug it with my last 2 actions. Yeah. I'm not happy.
What is wrong with you? Why do you look worse?
It's a long story.
You keep saying that.
Well, we haven't had time for me to tell you, but it's a long story.
Trishik.
Can I get on the anvil?
Yeah, it's about 12 feet high, so you could run up the side of it and be on top of it. Yeah, you'd be just pretty much level with the giant shoulders.
All right, I'll double move to do that then. I got 60 feet of movement.
Skipper. Up on the side of this thing as you quickly kip up on the top of it. You have 1 action left. Giant turns to watch you, this being the first thing it seems to have really captured his interest so far in this battle. And pivots away from the rest of the party to watch you climb all over his holy shrine. He's not happy about it.
There's a lizard on my anvil.
I believe this is place of worship, yes. Perhaps I should not do this. And I'm going to rake my claws across the top of his anvil, marring the surface.
So it is just a stone shrine. So you dig into it with your magical claws. You can easily like rake through and pull a fist-sized chunk out of it.
Wow. I don't think he's gonna like that.
Well, yeah, he's mad. I mean, congratulations.
Hey!
Wait a minute.
Even
Guess
Marshall's
who,
giving you
guess
the
who
like,
has significantly more health than everyone else right now?
As he turns up,
Balancing the resources.
I'm literally mouthing the words.
he turns up around you. You can see the pinpoints of light in his eye sockets flare a bit as he looks, and his hand grips the staff a little bit tighter. All those who serve Menderhall need not do it willingly. And reaches up, his hand turning from this bleached white where the holy energy had blasted it to almost be encased in a solid gray stone, matching the construction of his anvil as he reaches up towards you. And I need you to make me a fortitude save.
It's a spell, right?
It's a spell, yeah.
Speaking of that, am I in range for AOO?
You are not, no. You're
Nope.
not.
There's
50
a
feet back
giant.
Okay.
There's a
between
full
the two.
dead
It's kinda
giant
hard for me
between you.
to-
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
little hard to see because we had to scale it a little bit.
Damn.
You said fortitude?
Fortitude.
So, 24.
24. As he reaches up, you grab this bit of stone, looking at him like, flexing on this guy. And you see the same thing happening to your hand. The gray stone of the shrine is spreading through it, and you feel yourself start to lose the ability to move. You are slowed too, as you start to turn to stone atop the shrine. Roshin.
Well, that's concerning.
You can see him up above there. You can see that visible to you down the ground, the 3 of you still in the room. From the out of his extremities, his hands and his feet, you can see this stone growing. It's not growing across his body so much as the sheen is spreading. It looks like he is turning into a statue.
Hang in there, Trishik!
I cast
be
words
fine.
of encouragement.
Not sure what else.
You're doing great, buddy! That's all he got because he was slowed also, so he can only cast the 1 spell.
So Roshin will just just kind of focusing a bit. Remember, and she's gonna throw magic behind that, and that is my brand new Lacunifex Stamp of Approval, Spiritual Amnesius. So he is going to be overwhelmed with memories of his past life, and if he actually had a past life, which I'm betting Dead Undead Giant was once alive and had one, he is actually going to be 1 degree of success worse on his save.
This is an anti-undead spell
Yeah, I'm like,
in its prime.
past life. He is literally undead, So I mean, yeah, he had a past life, but that was still this one. Like he still has all those memories. He's just became he didn't like get raised later.
Well, I think it's
like,
the wording is. Let me read it for you.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, give me
Memories
the
of a
wording.
past
That's
life
a
that
weird
seem
one.
incredibly real and may even be overwhelm the target's mind. This is especially disorienting for specifically undead and creatures that have lived a previous life, such as celestials, fiends, monitors, etc., many extraplanar creatures.
Fair enough. I guess he's disjointed enough at this point from his ancient mortal memories that it will be particularly jarring.
Oh, and it's not automatically 1 degree of success. It's a crit success becomes a success, and a failure becomes a crit failure.
But a success is not becoming a failure.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough. And this is a will save?
It is sadly a will save. I'm pretty sure he's pretty good at it, but maybe
Is it
he'll
an
roll bad.
incapacitation?
It is not.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what this spell's gonna do. I know I gave it.
It's fancy slow.
Yeah, I know I gave it to you. It's from the cool Lacuna effect stuff, but I don't remember. Oh, it's cool slow. I remember cool
Yeah, it's
slow.
cool slow.
Okay, cool slow.
Slow with sunglasses.
Slow plus.
24.
24 is a failure, which drops to a critical failure. So the visions will overwhelm it. It is now slowed 1 for a minute. It starts babbling about the visions it's seeing, and it's stunned 3.
So as it starts to ramble incoherently, it drops out of common. You see this hand pulls back from Kashyyyk towards his own skull as he reels from this magic. Now speaking the language of the rest of the giants here, something unintelligible to the rest of you.
Bibbidi bop.
But Italian, as we've established. But he's clearly,
I know that's one.
for a moment, his staff pulls into his body, goes askew. He has his hand, his 2 fingers touched to his skull, clearly overwhelmed, and for a moment, unable to act.
And Roshin is going to take advantage of this opening. I'm going to push forward to stop directly alongside of it at the base of the anvil.
Alrighty, Resme.
Resme has no idea what's happening,
No,
so
you're in
she's
another
gonna
room, trying not to die.
step out into the hallway for a second.
And eat a fireball.
Stride out into the hallway.
Yeah, straight out into the hallway.
You move out. Eleanor takes position in front of you. Resme, as Resme will do, immediately pushes past you to be in front of you.
Oh.
You can see him reeling.
I don't know what you did, but good job. And I am going to... Who looks the worst?
I'm pretty bad.
I'm
Aside from the-
actively turning to
Yeah,
stone.
I'm going to say
He's
aside
turning
from
to stone.
turning to
Marshall's nearly dead. You can't see Valia. Roshin probably looks terrible.
staggering a bit.
Eleanor's... Everyone's doing bad.
Gotcha. Oh my god. Donum Vitae! And I will throw a heal out on Marshall.
He is more than 30 feet away from you.
Reach.
You
You
move.
s- yeah.
Oh, that's right, I can't do it.
That's okay.
Oh, he's more than 30 feet away?
Yeah. He's 40, I think.
You're right, he is.
You could have strode more.
Yeah,
stride
you,
more.
you could stride more as
Okay,
you realize.
perfect.
Yeah, if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm
part of
going
that
to do.
stride. You could move into
Okay,
range to cast spell for
perfect.
sure. Yeah. I'm not gonna like hold this. Isn't Warhammer.
Yeah.
No, you're out of range. You can't do that. No.
Move phase was last phase, sucker.
Sure. Oh, I forgot my psychic out. No. You started shooting. No, we're not here to play that kind of Pathfinder.
All
I'm here to
right.
have fun.
12,
Getting murder killed is fun.
18, 20.
Might happen regardless.
It's
having a
going to be
great time.
55 points of
Thank you.
life in a box.
Brings us to your turn, Marshall.
All right. You said 55?
Yes, 55.
Okay. Give me a second while I do the math. Math is good. All right. There we go. Because big boy got a lot of hit points. All right. So I'm going to step diagonally. I mean, I know it's difficult terrain, but I only need to get a little
You
closer.
can mount up on the giants here, kind of straddling the gap between the 2 corpses, putting yourself between him and Valia, largely.
Is that putting me in flanking?
You need to go 1 further to be
I can do
flanking,
that.
so you can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do
you
that.
would be flanking with Kashyyyk, who is very slow but still there.
That's all that matters. Le Banque. That's
That sound.
that's a 25. I doubt that's gonna hit.
25 as you pull yourself with these corpses and swing. You didn't expect him to like stagger down in the first reaction he's had.
Almost
Yeah.
fetal positioning.
So I'm gonna swing again and hope for a much higher number. It is higher, -5. So
That's 1 higher.
that's 1. You're right.
It's too higher.
Yeah, 2.
No, yeah. So
4 to an 11.
26.
27 altogether.
27 definitely. You're
Oh.
gonna swing this malady as you try to recover. You're very large, working in what is a big room, but still becoming a cramped space with all of your allies and the corpses piling up around you.
I tried.
Valia looks, realizing they're in the concealer, pretty spent, and she's still gonna see him kind of stagger, gonna see him falling. She grits her teeth after this and breaks into almost a run as she comes up around the side to flank with Roshin, flinging her rapier forward to do what she can. And she is going to get a 37, which is going to hit. Flanking, gets the sneak attack dice. They're really good sneak attack dice.
Nice. Sneaky beaky.
She's gonna hit him for what should be 32 points of damage, but she is plunging a rapier through robes into a pile of bones, and is going to actually do much, much less than that. Regardless, there's nothing to do but press onward here. Swings again. And her second swing, a 27, is going to catch nothing but these slowly becoming more ragged furs drawn around him, catching no bone underneath. Eleonora.
Ella, I'm going to move as far into the chamber as I can on one stride. It's 45.
45?
45.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 45 gets you right behind Marshall.
And then I'm going to use my second one as a tumble through. To clamber over this dead giant, tumble through him, and end up opposite of Valia.
Doing an obstacle course over here.
Let's see. A 24.
24 versus his reflex.
Yeah.
Is that
It is
affect my
going-
stun?
That is going to fail. Well, he's stunned. He can't take active actions. It doesn't make him any less able to defend himself.
If that's so, then I stop right where I was.
Yeah, so as you try to push through, he's going to stumble. You try to get through these robes and are just met with femur, shunting you back.
And at this point, I look incredibly pale. Fear, dying, everything. You're going to swing as best you can for a 25.
You swipe up.
And just being stopped, she's just completely staggered
Stuck
back.
and stuck on the body of this giant here, cutting away a section of his robes, but no further. Trishik, you have one action, as you are slowed too.
Well, going to skirmish strike, using the most of my abilities to move directly into the middle of the altar, and I'm going to bring the stone that's still in my hand from the altar down and smash it across his head.
I love it.
Nice.
All right. Okay. Do you want to? Is that a claw strike with flavor, or do you want that to be an improvised weapon?
Claw strike.
Okay,
Flavor,
wasn't
I
sure
guess.
because I don't know if you're going for bludgeoning this.
How does
after.
improvised work? Because
Your damage dice would be just D4 instead of whatever your normal dice are, but your attack roll is the same, minus obviously your rins.
so minus a plus
Be-
1.
Yeah, minus, so it'll be one less, and your base damage would be D4 bludgeoning instead of whatever your claw is. Plus everything you normally add to it and all your sneak attack would all become also bludgeoning.
And
I'm-
it's funny.
And it's funny. So I'm gonna hit him with the chunk of his own altar.
Okay. Screw this guy.
Insult to injury.
Would it still be finesse and agile because it's still my hand?
Yeah, it's still
because
your
that's
hand.
gonna change
I'll
my
still
stuff
give you
a
finesse
lot.
and agile and all that. It's a rock. You're
Well-
beating him with a rock.
I hit him with the rock. It doesn't really do anything because it's a chunk of unmagical rock. I rolled a 2 and I got a 22.
22 is literally critically failing. So as you
Yeah,
can see
I'm
him
just-
clearly like slowing down, turning to stone, the rock tumbles out of his hand as he goes to strike. Make me another fortitude save.
Another 2.
You have any hero points
Nope.
left?
I have not had any since.
And as this rock falls from his hand, just tumbling onto the floor, you see Trishik stop entirely. You are petrified. You are now a statue.
He just got a hero point at the exact same time you did that.
Oh, you sworded him.
It's not over yet.
It's not over.
As he stops.
But
To a 36.
36 with a resounding crack.
Breaking free of my bonds before they can hold
Your
me
slowed
back.
2 becomes slowed 1. As he powers through this.
I didn't take that 14 strength for nothing.
Now this necromancer here he's defending himself. He's pulled back, but he's ranting in Jotun. Nobody knows what he's saying. The same language of the giants here. It sounds like he's pleading with something. Curled down, now the full brunt of his fist on his forehead, his face ducked down as he just tries to defend you off with the butt of his staff. You can take no actions, as he is stunned 3. Roshin.
That's right. You keep remembering now. We'll send you back to that life soon. And just gonna raise that shield and just hack in while Valia's got him distracted on the other side. So that's gonna be a 36.
36 will strike him.
Good damage, I'm assuming.
He is a literal skeleton.
If he doesn't have weakness, no problem. But if he does,
How much is slashing?
slashing is gonna be 6 plus so 12 slashing. Total.
Your sword does nothing,
Okay.
but the holy light that flares off of it catches and again sears across his bones, just like the heal had before. He's only going to take the holy damage.
Okay, so he takes 1 point of holy damage. Seeing that,
Flashes briefly in a
flashes
spark.
briefly, Roshin is actually going to let that sword slip out of her hands, and she's going to pull the Morning Star at her belt. And that's my
Right.
third action.
Resume.
Oh.
Trishik. You got the power. Paizo channel behind you. Skagero. One more for Trishik as he is fighting it up here.
Oh.
And another, he's got him banked. Another for Eleonora. Giving you 1 as well. And another, he's been saving.
Look at this.
He has
Wow.
been
Look at him
saving
go.
for
Look
a
at this
dire
man.
moment to Marshall.
Making it rain.
oh yeah, thank you.
This is the second wind.
We're gonna make him proud. Make him proud.
Resume.
Resme's going to think for a minute and see how disoriented he is. And she's going to reach out with her magic farther than it should. Agitatum! And cast Agitate on him.
That's funny.
Stride or suck.
Stride or suck. Will save?
No, he has to...
He has a
He has a
save.
will save, yeah.
41.
That will
Nothing
critically
happens.
succeed. Bummer.
Honestly,
this
of all the spells, I'm
Baby magic. Nothing against the might of this necromancer. Marshall.
Well,
No longer flanking, unfortunately, but you big fighting square.
that's okay. I'll still bonk him with me hammer. Bonk. 33.
33 misses. The hammer will catch into his bone, into his shoulders and his ribs, but not hit hard enough as your rectangle almost rebounds back from whatever foul magics have put him in this state in the first place. 33 is a miss.
If he's large, would he get the larger area to determine if he has flanking, since he's technically...
Unfortunately, not how that works.
Okay, I wasn't
Aw.
sure. I
I'll
wasn't
give you a
sure.
heads
Well,
up, but no. There's no
I'm-
part of him is on either side of him. It's the whole of him is still in the corner.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to bonk him again, I guess. Because that's all I can really do.
You gotta beat it real hard.
That's even worse, so no.
So 2 swings, nothing.
With my last action, I guess. So if I attempted to shove, that would be a negative, what, 10?
10.
Or if I what if I grapple him? Is
Negative
it
10.
Negative 10.
Anything
still.
that's like an athletics check against him to knock him over or push him or grab him, that's all attack traits. So it'll all be minus
You know what?
10.
I'm going to go ahead and grapple him.
We'll try and grab a hold of him. Can't bash his bones, let's grab him.
Even in the minus 10, that's still a 31.
That a minus 10's 31.
Yeah, I got a 19.
Grab a hold of him.
Wow.
Hits him
He just
twice.
got-
Let's go.
He's just gonna grab him from around the neck and just trying to hold him as best as he can.
So Marshall's got him held. Valia still kind of crippled, desperately injured here. Can't do much against the skeleton with this, but I'll give what I can. And keeps swinging for a 31. Is going to catch nothing. Second swing also piercing through, landing on nothing. She's got nothing she can do but in it to win it. Oh, yeah.
Those were noises.
Also a 30. I got a good roll, but it was not. It was only a 19. The minus 10's not gonna. Minus 8 rather. Minus 10, yeah, not agile on a rapier. Keep thinking rapiers are agile. 3 strikes through, glancing across the bones. A flash of steel as she pushes all in on this, but not putting anything forward. Eleonora.
We're going to attempt to tumble through once more. Never deterred. For a 28 this time.
And 28 is still going to fail as his staff shunts you back.
I'm gonna try again.
I'm gonna do this, man.
33.
33 will do it.
All
We
right.
did it. And put me next to Roshin.
There you
I
are.
feel safe next to Roshin.
After 6 seconds of effort, you managed to get underneath.
Yeah. This guy's a monster.
Literally, he's going.
I'm gonna swing at him with my sword. For 25.
Yeah, and that follow-up is just grating across his bones harmlessly.
Tired.
Trishik has 2 actions.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
You know what one of those is?
Just hit him with a rock. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No,
That
I'm
makes a
gonna
horrible
pull out
noise.
the clan dagger. In my unoccupied hand that just has my claws, and I'm gonna skirmish strike, moving over to be in flanking again using Marshall. And I'm gonna bring this blunt object of just bludgeoning force. It's surprisingly heavy and thick and will beat his bones to
Paddle him.
powder. And we're gonna take a swing now that I have flanking with Marshall.
Well, you don't have flanking with Marshall, but he's
Skirmish.
He does, he's skirmish
But
struck.
he's grabbed anyway, so like he's
Yep.
I was gonna say he's 5-footed regardless because Marshall's
But-
got a hold of him.
Nat
This
20.
was the answer. This is the bonk on the head.
Okay.
This is the nat 20.
This is the nat 20
It
we
wasn't the
deserve.
20 we wanted, but it was the 20 we needed.
This is what I was
Alright.
trying to do when I was too slow to do it.
So this thing cracks into this necromancer's skull resoundingly, audible all the way down the hall where Resme is, which seems to jar him a bit more to his senses and knock him out of his trance.
So he takes 4 from just the strike and then 10. So 28 bludgeoning.
Nice.
And does Clan Dagger do anything? Agile Dwarf, parry, uncommon. Nope, no. Unless he can bleed.
He cannot bleed. He is a skeleton.
Yeah.
There's marrow, but
Make
I
a
don't
fortitude
think that counts.
save.
We're boned.
I was doing the run move.
And I know.
For a 27. And as the stone starts to grab a hold of me again, I'm going to brute force my way out of it using that hero point so graciously given to me. And we're going to use all of that brute force to shatter the stone for a 35.
35. You push through this.
Flexing the stone
As
flakes
he
off
loses
my
his
skin.
focus, yeah, these bits and shards of stone, which aren't stone, they are your scales, pop off of your body, leaving
So you shed your skin.
a scattering of exposed areas where the lizard sheds off this stony skin. You are no longer slowed. You are freed.
Benefits
comrade.
of being a lizard.
Free. So, as he comes to grips with what's happening and where he is, and kind of comes back into the present, not pleasant for him, he puts his staff almost horizontally, just sweeping it back to keep everybody at bay, as he holds his other free hand in front of him and incants another Obscura Acidum. And that is an attack of opportunity. Big whack.
Marshall is going to swing his hammer around, but then he's going to carry through and spend his hero point for another attempt at le bonking.
saw that
Twice as
20.
good.
Twice as good, but not sure if it'll hit because that's a 29.
He's
Wait,
footed.
he's 5-footed, so
29 is not gonna have no.
yeah, that's not gonna hit him. Darn.
Sorry,
I wasted it.
And this, as this spell manifests, rising up from the rubble on the floor, the dust and grime across the surface of this ancient chamber starts to rise and coalesce almost like a cloud, puffing up near filling the chamber. Resme, from the distance, you can just see like a cloud of rubble up around everybody, obscuring this fight. And Roshin, as you breathe in this ichor, this ancient morass of stone and ground offerings for centuries or millennia, I'm gonna need you to make me a fortitude save.
All right.
If he gives you asbestos, you can totally sue him.
I'll sue him 30 years later. It's cocked, but
Don't worry.
Okay.
There you go.
okay, that's not great. That's a 23. Yeah, it's a
At
23.
seeing the magic loosed on you, Resme will quickly try to pull it back, and I'll spend another focus point for another arcane countermeasure.
That's a reaction to the spell.
Hey, what if I use
That doesn't. Yeah, the problem now is not the magic; it's just inhaling this dust. Arcane
okay,
countermeasure
got
actually
it.
help. So that's gonna critically fail.
Yeah.
And you're gonna take 38 points of poison damage.
Oof.
And now it is your turn.
Okay. So let me do some quick subtraction.
Subtraction?
Sorry, that's the bone part of
While
my
you
mouth.
do math, Trishik, Chat's baby today here. Leaders in heaven, let's give Trishik another point so we don't have another risk of a stone lizard. Can't be at 0. Not sure spell is gone. Things are spooky.
Things are spooky.
All right, you can take your turn normally, other than the fact that everything around you is obscured. Everything is concealed within this cloud.
So just gonna kind of cough and spit and giant chunk of blood. I was gonna kind of cough up.
I was turning into this.
But with Morning Star in hand, gonna try to lay into this thing's ankle here. For a natural 20.
Give me a concealment check.
No.
17.
17.
All right, so natural 20.
It's almost a 1.
You catch this thing with your Morning Star, and a resounding blow.
The Morning Star.
Yeah, the Morning Star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Morning Star.
The good night star.
the one that we have.
The one that's on my belt. It's made of cold iron, too.
The one that we physically have here.
Yeah, but it's not in this room
I
right now,
know.
so it doesn't help us.
What?
What?
The prop. We have the prop
Yeah.
Morning Star.
That's right. So let's see here. 7, 6, 6. That's math. 13 times 2. 26 bludgeoning.
26, and that's will have its full effect. This hammer crunching into this beast's bones with full effectiveness.
And then the last thing she's going to do is look across and see Valia kind of staggering and realizing that she's not going to be able to breathe this in for very long and live. So she's just going to reach out, Krasach, and is going to pull Valia's life back off the floor with a big heal. So that's going to be 10, 21, 23, 63 health back.
Ooh, nice. This is going to be great improvement. So, Resme, this mist, this cloud of dust is not thick enough that you cannot see into it. It is just that everybody within it is concealed. You can see, like, shapes.
Resme, seeing the effect that the bludgeoning seems to be having on this thing, and seeing all of this debris and rock everywhere, will cast out Impetu Infirma, and cast a telekinetic projectile with reach.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll do is try not to be concealed.
Yeah, give it concealment first, so you don't roll the 20.
That's a
and then-
15.
Okay, so you got a concealment.
Yeah, I don't want to do the 20 thing. That would suck.
You roll a 20, then you fail concealment. Everyone's sad forever.
And that is going to be a 19, so not a 20, but still a 39.
39 will hit him.
Okay, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 18, 22. It's going to be a 29 points of bludgeoning damage.
Pretty good. Now this is robe mostly fallen. Many of his bones starting to show cracks and fractures where he's been beaten against. He is finally starting to show signs of wear.
How rude! You shouldn't be undressed before lady.
Marshall, make me a fortitude save.
28.
So at the start of your turn, you take 29 points of poison damage as you also inhale this fetid mist.
Ah, reminds me of my aunt. Ah.
Not being in the cloud is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yep. Gonna grip my teeth, sack myself up, and then take a swing with my hammer.
Ooh.
That is a big boy bunk. That is a 39.
39 will hit him.
Finally, I get to hit him with my hammer.
So, notably, your hammer is two-handed,
right.
so you need to let go of him to swing your two-handed mallet. Because you don't have a free hand to keep
Yeah.
holding him.
Regardless.
Let him go for a minute. You still give him a good whack. You're flanking, so he's flat-footed to you anyway. That'll hit.
Oh wait, I have to do concealment, don't I?
You
Or
need concealment, yes.
Darn concealment. 15. Okay, we're good.
All right, you're good.
Are we concealed from him?
Wow.
Uh-oh.
I've never done that in my entire life.
Oh my god,
was
every one of them is a 1.
But it's bludgeoning and
And you have a big bonus.
He's not resistant. Yeah, at least you have the large plus
So
something.
yeah, so that's a whopping 20 damage. Woo.
20 of not resisted damage.
20 non-resisted damage, yep.
You rolled 3 ones and still got 20 damage.
Well,
That's pretty good. I mean,
Barbarian.
I guess, yeah. I guess I do concealment again, right?
yeah, if you're going to
Yeah.
swing
Okay,
again, concealment again.
6.
You good?
And then
This is where we do the 20.
minus 5 to 32. I doubt we'll hit.
32 will get him with
Oh, 32.
32
Oh!
will get him with flanking.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I moved back into
Yeah,
the
Trishik's
flanking.
in position for you.
Much better. That's going to be 11, 17. That's 28 plus 6,
34.
34.
Okay.
Second bonk.
That. All right. And
That was it.
Valia needs to make a fortitude save because she is quite poisoned. She's also in the cloud of depression. Oh, pretty good though. Still a failure. 16 on the dice. She still fails. This is the high DC is high. She's gonna take.
You guys look like you're having fun over there in that mist. Glad I'm not there.
24 points of poison damage.
You got healed. She's okay.
Yeah, she got healed. She was still looking much better, and coughing and hacking as well. After what she let out, you can see almost like frigid bits dribbling out from her mouth. She looks like a rabid freaking animal. And she is just going crazy. She is swinging like a rabid freaking animal. So these are concealments. She passes all 3.
Good girl.
Natural 1 on the first swing.
Fitting.
28 on the second isn't going to do it. Natural 1 on the third swing.
Ooh.
Just putting everything in the not dying is the current bucket. Eleanor, a fortitude save, please.
32.
32 is going to fail. You're going to take 24 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
All the good dice with the concealment checks. It was like 15, 16, 19 under concealments.
I suddenly feel like a level 1 character with my health full. Very low. Concealment, I'm gonna drop the sword, pull out the hammer because I noticed sword don't work. Hammer does. Hammer time. Concealment check for an 18.
Okay.
The hit. 29.
29's not going to do it. Swinging this hammer will glance off across his shin.
I'm going to leave the room.
Fast
I'm
time.
going to make a decision here not to die in this room. I have 55 feet of movement because I do have dash. I'll
55 will
stay at
get
the
you-
edge. I'll try to get it out as far.
Yeah, that's
without-
as far. You can't get around the corner.
No. I mean out of the room, still in the hallway.
Okay, so
I
like
just
right
want
there.
out of the cloud of doom.
Fair
Just-
enough.
Yeah.
And Trishik, I need a fortitude save from you as well.
If this is a success, it is a critical
On
success.
fortitude saves?
On this.
On inhaled things.
Breath control.
Lizard powers.
36.
That's a critical success. Trishik, unfazed by this cloud. You're up above it. You're up on the thing.
His lizard nostrils just go boop.
I'm going to full stop hold my breath for the remainder of this battle.
Fair.
Because you can.
25 times longer than anyone else.
I love it.
Breath control mode.
And
Just wrong.
I'm just going to beat this man with my billy club.
This clan dagger slapping.
So
Flanking.
3 concealment checks.
Okay.
Fail, fail, fail.
They're
all fours.
4, 4.
Swinging into the mist, his focus on not inhaling this terrible poison. Trishik from this high ground now becoming a disadvantage. So, as we come back to Murder Skeleton,
No, wait, again.
those of you down the hall can see this mist rolling towards you, filling this 20-foot, 10-wide hallway like a wall of debris, slowly following after Eleonora as she sprints back. And Resma, you can see it coming pretty close to you.
Why'd you bring the trouble? It was nice over here.
That's why I came over here.
Getting very bashed, the skeleton man is going to fall back on what he can. There's a large target right in front of him. And in lieu of casting a spell, as you all surround him, he balls up his fist and just punches directly at you. What are you rolling, buddy?
Oh, I thought he was casting.
I have
In lieu of a spell.
I have
Oh.
counterfist. It's okay.
Okay.
It's called heal.
He's going to punch you for a 28 to hit.
That hits.
Give me a fortitude save.
Because 27. Oof. I rolled 5 on that twice in a row.
You can take 19 points of negative damage. And as his fist connects with you, in a flash, this numbness is going to rack through your body. Marshall is paralyzed.
Oh.
Whoa.
You can take no actions. And as you see him strike Marshall as he's getting ready to swing, Marshall just freezes and completely locks up. His body, his muscles twitching and quivering, but totally immobile. And the skeleton is going to turn back around, clenching his fist and pulling back, as from behind his heel, this fist punches out from the stone towards Roshin. For a 38.
So for 38, not a critical hit. She's used to strange, weird things, but it's still gonna catch her.
Fortitude save.
Fortitude save. So this thing is gonna catch her. She's gonna see that, and she's just kind of drawn her determination to not let that same thing happen to her. Oh, better. That's gonna be a 27.
You as well will lock rigid, paralyzed, and take 34 points of damage.
Oof.
But Marshall,
34 points. She's actually going to faint after that. And
her
just
body locked
collapse.
up is just gonna keel over like an inanimate suit of armor as Roshin hits the floor.
But not to a crit.
But not to a crit.
Not to a crit, which is what matters.
This guy
Matters is
ignores
not
his
to a
own
crit.
concealment effect, right?
He's life sensey boy. Marshall.
So he ignores all concealment
That
effects.
was all concealment effects. Marshall. Don't know that though. Crimson Nexus in the chat giving you a hero point.
Thank you,
Power
Crimson.
forward with putting you back at 1. He's only got 2 actions, so he can only swing twice. Rasheen, fully paralyzed on the ground. When does your fast healing kick in?
Fast healing kicks in at the start of my turn.
So it's going to kick in, and you're going to see the world kind of go black for a moment, and then come back as you're on the ground, as the poisonous cloud immediately sends you back to unconsciousness, because that's the end of your turn. Unless you critically succeed at the fortitude save.
Give me
Just
that
roll
20.
20.
Find out.
Just roll 20s,
forehead. Yeah, so actually I was kind of wondering about that. Would the poison hit me first, or would the fast healing hit me first? Because
Fast healing, poison's the end of your turn.
Oh, poison.
Oh, wait, no, the poison is at the
You've
start
had
of
me
your
roll
turn.
it at the beginning.
Right, it is at the start of your turn. I would say
I mean, the
Well-
enemy beats me on initiative if we're tied. We could roll it off.
Yeah, he beats your initiative. I think the poison. We'll stick with what I said for now. So you can make a fortitude save.
Okay.
Is it
I'm not
fortitude?
going to make that fortitude save.
So you are going to wake up on the floor. Yeah, I guess we'll order of operations. The poison hits you immediately, and then the blood flows back into you. So you'll be conscious on the floor, wounded, paralyzed, as you feel your muscles start to come back under control. Resume.
Resme, seeing the dire circumstances that her friends are in.
Would you like a hero point? 'Cause that could help you possibly.
Yeah. I
This
would
Crimson
love-
Nexus also has realized this is a very dire circumstance and has a second to hand out here.
Will.
Maybe that's supposed to be Roshin.
Huh?
That's supposed to be Roshin.
Is that Roshin or
Because I
Resme?
assumed it was Resme.
I think it's Resme.
It's like Rashme. I think it's Resme. So take that. But you also have you both have one. It's probably Resme.
I have 2.
with 2 now with
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, okay.
You both have 1 beforehand.
Was that not Rashim?
It says Rashme, but I think
Could
it's
be
Resme.
Rashim. Keep it for now.
I think Resme's closest.
PEMDAS?
Pemda.
Go ahead.
Resme will focus down and she will draw the force of her magic up from her body and fire it out at high speeds, and she will cast magic missile on him.
Ooh, it's force blasty time. Okay.
It is definitely force blasty time.
It's definitely supposed to be Rashim if you want to grab that hero point.
Oh, sure, I'll take it.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
3 missiles of force slamming into this giant.
Technically 9 missiles.
9 missiles of force. A salvo of bolts.
Artillery fire.
Oh, then Lily Vic Resme can have hers back. You can both have
5,
2.
6,
Chat knows when you guys need
7,
help.
8, 11.
Yes. Spooky fight.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
It's gonna be 33 points of force damage.
He has 169 damage on him right now. And he has...
And there goes Severin.
Everyone's not having a good time
The
either.
gas.
Damn,
And he has
That's how we
The
know it's
mine
poison
canary.
gas.
He's the canary.
200 health.
Ooh.
So as these missiles flow in, concealment's not, they're unerring. What happens here? Resme?
The missiles will fly into him from multiple angles, and the missiles will actually be memories from her childhood. Times when she hugged her mother, moments of supreme happiness. She infused herself into these, and they hit him where it hurts. In the heart he didn't think he had. The memories Roshin called up of his life, making him vulnerable to this at this last minute.
And as these hit him, blasting out bones as he finally is crippled, dropping down bit by bit as a leg is knocked off and ribs fall to the floor, he raises his hand once more, taking it back from Machine towards the hallway. He who makes and unmakes claims all in time. We are not done. You can almost see a grin in his skull as his bones collapse across the floor, even in his final moment, seemingly unswayed. But we're not free yet, because this poison cloud, Marshall, making a fortitude save, still largely filling this room, rolling towards Resme and Eleanor at the end of the hall.
Way better. That is a 39.
And do you succeed, critically succeed if you succeed? With
Juggernaut,
fortitude
you
saves,
do.
pretty sure
Yep,
you do,
yep, I
Barbarian.
do. Yep.
So you, if you inhaled it once and hack a bit, you don't immediately feel any further effect, but you are completely paralyzed. And throughout the ensuing seconds, as this giant falls, slowly twitch and work to get yourself under control. What?
Paralyzed ends rage.
Huh? Why would it?
How would it end rage?
There's a
You can
bunch of
take
weird
mental
status
actions.
effects that ends it, doesn't it?
I don't think paralyzed does. If he loses his because he's still mad,
yeah,
he's
rage
still
is
mentally
mental.
angry. Yeah, you can only
Yeah.
take mental actions.
Because you can actually rage while paralyzed.
Yeah, that's one of the few things you can do is start raging. Or
Dalrin did
paralyzed.
it when the cube ate him.
I am
way
so
back when.
angry right now.
Wait, does psyching up count as things?
You could. Is it just mental? You could absolutely psych up.
It doesn't say anything about not.
It'll
If
have tags.
It'll have traits. If the traits are just mental, then absolutely you can do it.
Okay, well, I'll look that up real
Yeah,
quick.
grab that while we're doing this. Valia, and take another 24 points of poison damage as she coughs and this skeleton stumbles and falls. And she looks around for a brief moment and sees that through the mist, it seems thinner at the back of the room. And as it's rolling down the hall, it doesn't seem like it's so much expanding as it is rolling away. And she's going to throw her one arm across her mouth, dropping her rapier on the floor, and hurry back into the furthest corner of the chamber she can. And call back, "It's not expanding, it's receding. It's safe back here."
So it just says barbarian, concentrate, and
Yep,
rage.
you can do it.
Okay,
Eleonora.
so I'm gonna get that bonus hit points just cause.
He only gets madder if you paralyze him.
So I can hold my breath and run through the mist. That'd be an
You can
idea.
absolutely hold your breath and try to run through the mist.
I'm gonna hold my breath, run through the mist to Roshin, and try to grab her and pull her back to where it's safe. It does still
Alrighty.
happen, Ash.
So she can, but she's on the floor, barely conscious.
And I have 18 strength.
Yeah, trying to see what's coming here. Make me an athletics check.
Okay.
Because she's got no idea what's going. She's going to react to another what would seem like a stone hand
As
coming
a-
around. I imagine as much as anything.
As I reach down to Roshin, I grab her, underestimate the weight of armor, and put a little bit more oomph in my oomph
Your point.
Full plate heavy.
for a 32.
What's your fort DC?
My fort DC is... I haven't punched anybody yet, so it's less. I get lighter somehow.
You
27.
fight less. 27. Eleonora will drag you out back to the corner from this smoke. Trishik, make me a fortitude save.
I'm holding my breath full
Oh,
stop.
you still just fully holding your breath, right? That doesn't phase you at all.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to quietly skitter to the other side of Marshall, which would take, I believe, 2 actions because of all the bodies.
Probably also have to get down off of a huge anvil.
Yeah. That's not a big deal. Not for me. And I'm going to boot him out of the gas.
Give me a shove. Shove the gigantic barbarian.
Sure.
So,
He's still paralyzed. Like, you have to shove him.
37,
It's your fort DC.
32. It's the same as my reflex DC.
Yep.
Poosh.
You just see each other.
Roll.
And I'm going to follow with it, and that's going to be like what I'm doing for the next couple.
So, the
Is this a non-trivial encounter still?
the mist continues to roll forward. It is the end of the encounter. So as Marshall is pushed, his rage will end and he'll shrink back down to his normal size. Your mists will stop healing you as Eleonora drags you out, and you can see this cloud of dust rolling away from you towards the hall. And you can see just barely Resume silhouetted against it at the far end. It's no longer an encounter.
No longer an encounter. Okay, so
But there's
Okay.
just the thing happening.
the thing is still happening. Okay.
So if my rage is gone,
Can
this is
I?
gone too.
I'm still paralyzed.
No, you got controlling at the end of the turn. You're paralyzed for 1 round.
Oh, okay. How about that?
So I'm
So you're not either. Yeah, you're getting it back at the end of your next turn too. So Roshin, you can take actions.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think you can really
Lovely.
do.
Thank you, Eleanor. Resme, run! Get
Working
away
on it!
from it!
Resume make a fortitude save as this wall kind of rolls up towards you as you stand your ground to throw these final missiles at him. You roll into the cloud.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Nice.
That is going to be a 37.
All right, that will regular succeed, so you will take half. It's going to be 19 points of poison damage. That
Okay.
was by far the highest roll I've had on that. 19 is half.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Resme's gonna hold her breath and run as fast as she can and triple move.
And as all of you, I imagine, Marshall, the last one, is going to need to make one last fortitude save before he can get out of the cloud.
Well, I still got to pick up my axe.
Can't leave my axe to get
Pick
poisoned.
up the axe and get out of the cloud. Priorities, man.
36.
Alright,
With
and
Juggernaut.
you're good. You're just breathing it. He's not even so mad anymore, but he seems to at this point be unfazed by this poison
I
cloud.
pick up my axe and run.
The group of you can see the wall of near animated dust rolling down the hall away from you, fading a bit into the distance, before at the far end of the chamber you'd passed through with the bears, it finally starts to phase and dissipate, leaving you back here with just the light of Rushian's sword clustered behind this strange anvil shrine.
Missing a chunk.
This desecrated shrine.
And we're gonna take a
It
break.
is desecrated
Yep.
at this point.
We're gonna take a break there
Yep.
after a truly
Spooky.
threatening encounter.
I
I did not feel threatened at any point.
You had to use a hero point to not die. That was dead. That was permanent petrified.
It's fine.
You literally were dead until Chet intervened in the moment of death to let you reroll.
At this point, we
was
would
gonna
replace
become a lawn
Power
ornament.
reach down.
we would replace you with your little ornament.
Yeah, this would be me.
For the rest of the session.
I would just get up, walk out of the
Chance.
room, and hang this off my mic.
Everyone's alive.
I stand corrected. We should not have gone down that hallway. That was
Maybe-
the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Talk to him.
Maybe barely at this point, so we'll pick up the pieces when we return. We're gonna stand up, stretch our legs. Feel free to refill your drinks, whatever. You're not gonna miss any content for a few minutes. When we come back, who knows what else the quarry can still hold?
Well, there's at least a couple archers.
We
And some
know there's the
rocks.
snipers that even just by the geographic lay of the quarry itself are hundreds of feet of tunnels and unknowable chambers and dangers away. But like we established last week,
We're ready to
the alarm
cave.
raised. There's nothing we can do but push forward now. Or give up on this entirely.
I don't want to give up.
We'll be right back, everybody.
Kind of want to give up.
But, for now, as we return, battered, beaten, quick pull, health.
3.
5.
12.
98.
You're fine. You got a big health. Yeah. you weren't so much health as almost turned into stone. Was your problem.
126.
Yeah, you didn't ever take any damage that fight. I don't think you just got the almost the
And
statue
I
for it.
I
just
gained
threw an
health off of
omega
that
heal
fight.
on you.
Yeah, you got a big heal at the end.
I'm sorry? Question mark? To be fair,
Not fair. You got a big heal.
You're a big heal.
Now,
like health points.
well.
Swolseps, the shadow giant, is a big heal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Swolseps. I
So,
love that.
as you all sit in the back of this shrine, this tomb, the shattered body of this necromancer before you, and 2 giants slain near the entry of the tunnel, finally returns to the near silence of the inner chambers of this quarry. You have nothing but the light of Roshin's sword, illuminating the area tucked back behind this anvil.
That silence
And,
is going to be rapidly interrupted by me taking apart this altar.
Stupid, dumb,
Just
Mr.
for the
Host,
record,
dumb god.
Just for the record, I'm gonna help you. Because we're friends and we do destroy together.
Thoroughly agitated.
He just pulls out the hammer.
The 2 of you,
Ready?
the most healthy, start ripping into this altar to Minder Hall here. Still unaware entirely of what that god is, but surely interested in learning no further.
Exactly.
But as this side of the table is taking out some righteous holy fury on a pile of rocks, you 3 are doing, and Valia as well. Valia is better. She's 45 or 55 if we're going down the list of
I got
health
a
people
heal on
have.
her
You got a
before.
good late
Yep,
heal
that's
on her
right.
too. Definitely would have died without that, or went down at least.
All right. We're here. We're not dead. We have a couple minutes.
I think we'd be into a little bit more than a couple minutes.
What in the name of all that is probably not holy is wrong with you?
Well, I think it's about time. At least give it a little bit, huh? Since we almost died in this room together.
Yes.
Come here, come here.
All
I
right.
don't want to force anything from you, but
It's fine.
if
They
it's
have
helpful.
they have the right to know a little bit. Let me see a hand. Let me see a hand.
My hand?
She takes it and she takes your hand and forces it against your body right here, right where your heart beats the strongest, and holds it there for a second. You feel that?
Yes.
Your heartbeat?
I feel it.
And then she takes it and puts it right to where hers is, and it holds it there. You feel anything? A minute passes. There's nothing.
Your heart's not beating.
Are you dead?
Mostly. Long story short, I was a stillborn. From what my mother told me, anyways, I was born dead.
I got the feeling you shouldn't be up walking around then.
Oh, I shouldn't be. And some god somewhere decided to take pity on me, or in some cruel type of divine jest, brought me back. Mostly.
Sounds like somebody playing prank on the Pharasma.
Yeah.
I'm confused. You're not alive, but you look alive, and you smell alive, and you don't...
And you bleed like you're alive.
You bleed very nicely. I mean...
Very well. I'm mostly alive.
This explains her reaction to your holy magic, your positive energy, as it were. So...
But why didn't you just say that? I wouldn't have hurt you on purpose.
Imagine how most folk react when they learn that you ain't exactly living. Commoners have a tendency to overreact to every little thing.
They do with that.
Oh, darling, when did you ever get the idea in your head that I was common?
Well, even nobility has a way of doing it too.
From what little I've learned of Kintargo in my time there, they never took kindly to undead. Cheliax hasn't historically at any points. They, for all their faults, do not abide by such necromancies. In fact, there's entire orders of Hell Knights near dedicated to stamping them out.
Oh, Nora, I'm so relieved. She'll come up and actually give you a hug. It's probably, like, she actually does look relieved. I thought you were possessed by a demon or a devil, but you can't help this. This is just who you are. It's how you were born. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, there's a lot of things wrong with it, but yeah, it is just how I was born.
So I don't entirely understand, and this is most likely a lapse of education on my own part, and I apologize, but you are more than just alive, you're more than just animated. You have your own thoughts, you experience pain and emotion, which I've never known an undead to be capable of.
I wish I could really explain it. You know how this one's been, this points at Rasheen, been blessed by Milani, as it were.
Blessed.
Blessed
that
by
somewhat.
Milani. I was blessed by the Pallid Princess, Urgathoa.
Who?
Do I know who that is?
I mean, you can make me a religion check. Urgatho is pretty main pantheon, so probably.
36.
Absolutely know who Urgathoa is.
A 15 would know.
Oh yeah, 15 knows who Urgathoa is. Urgathoa is basically the goddess of undead. It is widely believed that she herself is an undead god, and it's almost anti-Pharasma, where it's complete anathema to any Pharasman to abet or abide by any kind of reanimation of interfering with souls. Urgathoa believes that no souls should be condemned to the boneyard, and that any act of binding undead is a kind of twisted mercy to save them from Pharasma's judgment.
Literally anti-Pharasma.
Literal anti-Pharasma.
Literally anti-Pharasma.
She is frequently depicted, like, she's basically I guess a good comparison to things to our knowledge. She's basically like the Grim Reaper. Her favorite, to the point of her favorite weapon is a scythe. Like, she is not looked fondly upon. She, along with probably Lamashtu, are like the two most reviled known deities.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she's like Lamashtu tier. It's not a good time.
Not a good time at all.
Urgatho is not a good time. I said that about Zonkuthon too until I learned that Nadal exists, so apparently, like...
Somebody likes him.
Dude, Zonkuthon is the prince of pain. You can't hate the
Well,
Prince
she's
of
the Pallid
Pain.
Princess. They could probably make something happen there. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dinner.
At least that
Torture.
nice gothy
Genocide.
prom date.
That
Well
was
done.
oh, it's okay.
Well done.
My chat. My chat experience.
I heard you had a phone. Not anymore. It's gone.
Anyway,
Well, if you bear this curse, or blessing, or perhaps a bit of both, I know the dead can be invigorated by a particular type of necromancy. Have you ever had that tried on you? Perhaps I could dabble a bit and be able to put you back together.
If I probably embraced her, yeah. But
Oh, I can empathize with that.
yeah, they tend not to like it when you kind of spit in their face a lot.
Really, I wish I'd get that kind of reaction out of my goddess.
Uh,
She just rewards me with more work. Wait a minute. Maybe.
Laziness
Perhaps
doesn't
being
work.
lazy is good.
I thought for later.
religion is often found at the precipice of death, such as it is. And by the state of us, I imagine we should probably do something about these wounds.
Indeed. I'm afraid all I can offer you is spirit and stitches.
well, stitches work.
I have 5 health potions.
That works too. I think.
Alchemy, bandages, magic, whatever it is.
I got medical potatoes.
We're not
Let's
through.
get potatoes. There you go. Give
We're
it a
not
shot.
through here yet, and I'm not quite yet willing to give up on it.
Fair enough. Certainly your conviction is
go ahead.
worth quite a bit.
I'll go ahead and perform a medicine check on you.
She's
I would like to take a breather. I can't really breathe.
I'm all for that.
So, as you rest here, Marshall's attempts to bandage Eleanor are very quickly rebuffed. So,
myself.
what are you doing? You're bandaging yourself?
I'm managing myself.
Rasheen, what are you up to?
A little bit daunted with just the extent of her injuries. She's gonna hold off for a minute and actually just kind of poke through the robes of the skeleton to see.
You're
if there's
like
anything
maybe
interesting.
shouldn't really move injured. Both of you two are.
Yeah.
You too, actually. All 3 of you are. Maybe
I
don't
can bandage.
make any
Well,
big motions.
she's gonna bandage up herself. I'll bandage up one of you two then.
Sure enough. Why don't you take out a resume, and I'll see what this what this fool had on it.
Let me chug one of these down first. Oh god, I hate the way these taste.
Add some more sugar into them.
Honey
More strong
works.
shot of whiskey.
Honey
Marshall
works.
approaches you with a medical potato in hand, going, "Here's the airplane."
Here's the what?
Oh right, wrong age. Here's the dragon.
Why would I want to chew on a potato, and why are you telling me it's a dragon?
Just take it.
So,
Middle of talking to
why? Oh,
And this is why I said you could treat resume.
smart.
26 on trained in medicine.
26 will critically succeed. You'll give her 4d8 health back. Eleonora, how are you doing?
I rolled a 19 for an expert. Not doing well.
Yeah,
Like a
you're-
total of 19?
Total of 19.
Your wound, the severity of your wounds seems to be a bit beyond what you're really able to treat.
As
This
she's bandaging herself, she just falls asleep.
Good. And I got myself 25, so.
and Trishik is beating up a statue.
Probably
And,
still holding
Yeah,
my breath.
you and Rasheen are through the room. You just ravaging, and Rasheen, you have detect magic, right?
I think I have read aura instead.
Oh, you can use read aura to
everything.
feel around as well.
Yeah.
You would be able to pretty easily identify that both of these stone giants as well wielded +1 striking great clubs for the sack that is inexplicably full of +1 striking large-sized great clubs. And the staff that the necromancer bore, while it is a bit oversized, has quite a few interesting properties. It exudes a powerful necromantic aura, almost akin to something as strong as the actual reanimated bears had in the previous room. Additionally, it looks like there had been some work going on in here, and there's a whole lot of what may very well be Jotun scripture scrawled on assorted animal hides, some bound loosely together almost in sheafs like a book, some around the base of the shrine laid there like offerings. Redar would determine that 2 of them are actually magical and would function as scrolls.
Interesting. Scroll blankets.
Scroll animal hides, yeah.
All right. So I've got 2 of those scrolls.
2
keep those to
scrolls,
the
2
side.
+1 striking things, and the necromancer's stave.
I'll give you 3 healing potions.
Okay.
They're the 3d6 + 6s.
Okay. I'm sleeping. Flop them in front of her as she just Just passed out.
Severin's
One
gonna.
cup of milk.
Severin's actually gonna kind of curl up and kind of make a nest on your head.
Oh, well, we'll sleep.
So they're picking through the room in this round of healing here. As you leave some potions off for the unconscious Eleonora. You reconvene with what you have. Valia, what could make an effort to tend to herself? She's gonna fail. She knows also, even though she's much less injured than you guys, she knows like some basic first aid, way beyond that in severity of wounds, and she's unable to really do anything other than bandage up the worst of it.
Turns out
I'll throw some minor magics up. I'll blow all 3 of my level 1s to go and try to get myself up into a point where I won't get knocked down by the first sword that comes on.
Do you want something stronger?
It can always be
You
offering
can
me something
poof
stronger.
them, so I mean that hits everybody.
I could, but then I don't get the +8.
Oh, you did the +8 for you. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I mean...
That's fair. You're super wounded.
Also, I don't want to, like, burn
That's
her
fair.
while
Well,
she sleeps.
Yeah, a few spells, your own magic redirected back into yourself.
Turns out taking negative energy is a little bit beyond mundane healing. At least
It's hard to
first
deal with.
basic
Yeah,
first aid.
most of everyone's damage is cold and negative energy
I
and
can probably
lightning.
take 2
It'd be hard
It's
to
almost all
differentiate.
magical.
I'm going
Yeah.
to throw some healing on you as well.
I would imagine negative
thank you.
energy and
I need
cold
lots of d8s.
Oh, there you
like
go.
would both cause flesh
Yeah,
necrosis.
probably somewhat similar in their effects, but yeah, it's not. You guys really aren't terribly injured physically. Like you got bapped by a club a couple of times, but most of you have almost literally no physical injuries. Like
I got hit by a club.
Resme, Valia, Trishik didn't take any damage. Resme and Valia are entirely, it was all spells.
I
So
lost a few scales.
you popped some scales off, you shed some skin, did some lizard stuff. But at the end of this, 10 minutes and then a little interjection of magic. How's everyone looking? Valia's not any better. She's still
Take back 72 points.
How much was those potions for?
3d6 plus 6. I gave you 3 of them.
Okay.
Valia's bandaged herself up well enough. She's clearly still pretty severely injured, but she's not
You good?
immediately on the
I'm good.
threshold of
I'm
death.
almost spent.
Rasheen is looking much better.
After Resme's heal and my own heals significantly, Resme's still looking pretty beat to crap.
So Resme and Marshall have
Uh,
not been medically treated yet, so you can still give somebody can
I-
still medicine them.
I
Resme
gave.
got medically treated.
Oh, you got treated by
Marshall.
Marshall, right? Rasheen
Medical
and
potato.
Marshall have not been treated yet.
I'm at 83. I mean, that's not horrible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're doing really well. Sorry.
I my 10-minute nap. I'll wake back up
Got some potions in front of you.
and chug those down really fast. Oh, we gonna sit around for a little bit longer because I'd like to try to bandage myself up as much as possible.
I don't hear a sound of tramping boots coming down the hallway, so it seems like we might have the time.
I wouldn't mind.
We've only got so much time, I figure. I don't want the Triad to start moving shifts or anything of the like, but...
Well, we can actually keep an eye on them from the hole in the wall there and
That's
see if they
true.
start moving out into the quarry.
Well, them coming upon us while we're trapped in a corner such as this doesn't seem entirely wise either.
Oh, we should move back to where they,
I
we
agree.
rested just not shortly ago,
I
actually.
agree. The Giant's Fire may be a good place. So let's see out into the quarry as well.
Exactly.
So that could do us some service.
I can set up early warning, be down hallway and back in flesh if we happen to be.
I don't think there's... These giants recognized you, at least that skeletal one did, as not with them. So they have some knowledge of the Triad, but I don't imagine the Triad will be quick to check on them.
Quite possibly
My
not.
only concern is whoever spotted us when we were fighting in the quarry itself. Don't know what they're preparing, but little choice, I suppose.
Well, interesting enough, I think we actually might have them in a bit of a bind. Moving around as we do, we saw those openings, but I'm not entirely positive that there's. Well, perhaps there's a back way out if they're seeking to escape. But
That's true. They may very well be trapped.
they might be trapped, and at the very least, if they actually move out and actually abandon everyone here, as much as I'd hate to chase them across half a continent again, we can't leave these people.
At least
No.
we can chase them alive. All right, we can wait for some time here.
There's. I need you all to know that I'm almost spent. I have 1, maybe 2 good shots left in me, and then I'm just going to have to rely on my more minor magics to help. Somebody else is going to have to shore me up a little in the next battle. I'm going to have to be careful.
We'll have to be conservative, I suppose. Hopefully that Whatever this they'd met is the worst of what they have, though.
Well, here, Resme, in the meantime, if you would, take a look over these. That giant sorcerer was keeping him with him. Maybe you can make some sense of him. These, his staff, for one, seems quite powerful. And, these hides, scrolled with script, actually appear to be, magical scrolls. Can you perhaps these would be of use?
So the scrolls are arcane, which means you could just read them outright. Which is somewhat I guess yeah. The skeleton giant was actually pretty much slinging arcane magic. He's throwing a ball of the elements at you. That's a pretty calling card for
pretty
arcane.
friggin' arcane.
I actually wasn't sure if he was divine or not, so I really didn't want to risk divine aegis and make my saves even worse.
You have 2 different scrolls here. A scroll of sending. Not totally useful at the moment.
It's cash.
Scroll.
And you have something more interesting that I ran hilariously wrong in Extinction Curse, which I thought was really funny afterward, and the rest of the party didn't so much. A Scroll of Cloak of Colors, which is an interesting spell that you can place on yourself or a friendly creature that kind of coats you in a shimmering rainbow aura of light. And anybody near you, adjacent to you, is dazzled from the brightness automatically. And if somebody strikes at you with a melee attack, it reactively flashes even brighter in response, very frequently blinding the target.
Huh.
Ooh, that could be very
It lasts
helpful.
about a
Run
minute.
that wrong.
Because it is... I thought it was when they attack you.
It's when they have to hit you.
No, I did it right, actually. I think the thing that I missed is it only goes off on one person once a turn. So
attack, flash,
Flash, flash,
So,
flash,
say if
flash.
a boss had it up and the party surrounded
perhaps a
them.
boss who didn't even have an ad and had the whole party standing around whomping her had it on, and then was just constantly blinded forever.
I gotcha.
Who also had a really high AC for her level.
Yeah.
But no, it can only flash once on a target per turn, so it doesn't keep going off on one person.
Still annoying though.
Notably, due to the nature of the magic, it is more helpful protecting against less powerful foes. It's worth mentioning it does have the incapacitation trait. And is only a 5th level spell. So,
So
I mean, you've been fighting, most of the stuff you've been fighting that isn't bosses has largely been 9th level. Just like, because this is still our first campaign, just like mechanically speaking.
right.
It's going to be something that if you use it soon will probably fend off peons, probably won't fend off a boss. And if it doesn't get used pretty soon, will become
Money.
useless.
Money.
Yeah, or money. It'll become money.
And the book? Or the
The
staff?
staff, I'm going to need you to attempt to identify, young lady.
I do so love identifying. Can't read that, what is it?
It's a 6.
It's gonna be a 28.
Oop. 28 will do it. What he has here is the partner of all casters, conjurers, and sorcerers,
It's a
the
staff
humble
of
staff. It's a
necromancy.
staff of something. This one, obviously, a staff of necromancy. But what you have here is not a standard staff of necromancy. It is a greater staff of necromancy. So it is the more powerful version.
I got the magic stick.
So the problem is you would need to you couldn't use it. It's not immediately helpful because you would need to attune with it in the morning when you ready most of your magics to activate it for your use. But it has such fan favorites as 4th level Vampiric Touch and Blindness, which is some pretty neat things that can get shot out of it.
It also has become pile of money.
It also has Become Pile of Money if nobody wants a Staff of Necromancy. Become Pile of Money is the most powerful enchantment an item can bear.
Come here. We need to do girl talk for a second.
Isn't it also
Girl,
a
talk
giant
about the
weapon?
dress.
No, it's
How
not.
did you even
It's
find a dress
oversized,
here?
but it's not as gigantic.
Well, if we're resting again, I'm gonna eat my own medical potatoes.
Fair enough.
Nat 20.
I'll take Roisin aside, back behind the altar, and act like we're doing girl stuff. I'm gonna pretend to be rearranging her hair and her dress.
There's no more.
It's not my dress. I'm wearing armor.
You
Don't
have
have
full
my
plate
dress.
on right now.
25.
There's something I need to tell you, and I haven't told anyone before because I quite frankly haven't really come to terms what any of it means yet, but I have a book in my possession, in my bag of holding. And if anything happens to me, don't ever sell it or get rid of it. Take it somewhere, burn it, or bury it. No one should ever have their hands on this. Ever.
Sounds like you have quite a thing there.
I don't have time to explain a lot of it to you right now. It's going to take a lot of explanation, but for now, please just believe me when I say that if something happens to me, you take this, you tell no one you have it, and you get rid of it.
Well, I'll give you my word on the matter, but Esme, if something happens to you, chances are it's happened to me too, because I'm not going to let anything happen to you unless it has to go through me.
Yes, but I'm tricky.
All the more reason why you might survive.
Just... thanks.
I've got your back.
We can't let anything happen to this book.
I'll take care of it.
Okay.
So why are you keeping it then if it's so dangerous?
'Cause I have the sneaking suspicion the information might be the difference between life and death for a lot of people.
That's why you want me to burn it.
If I can't use it, I'm not going to trust anyone else not to misuse it. Once I tell you more about what's in it, you'll understand better.
Oh, very well then. Seems if it's something so dangerous that you might want to just get rid of it right away.
I can't do that.
And I've seen your house. There's an awful lot of books in it.
It's more like power like this. I have to use it for good if I can, or else what the heck am I doing? Just walking around finding treasure? This is the whole point. We're trying to help. This can help, or at least I can keep it from hurting.
All right, I can respect that.
And as if at the very sorry, I thought you were done. At the
No, I'm
very
good.
mention of
Evil
the evil in this book, a terrible power
has been released.
resonates in the distance. His Dragonic Soul 221. Get back a villain point. Well, at least he didn't do that in the last fight.
Yeah, that was nice of him.
He didn't empower the incredibly powerful skeleton necromancer giant, because I can't leave you hanging. Back to 0 for me. Enjoy. Thank you, friend.
But you could leave him hanging.
Could.
Like it's an option.
Could. But he's not gonna.
Roisin, it's not that I don't love our friends. It's just that I think you know what it's like to make a promise and an oath and keep it forever. And I trust that you'll keep this one.
Well, if I do keep this one, it'll be one of my first, but I promise you.
All right, your hair's looking lovely now. Look at it. It's braided.
Oh yes, the grime in the blood really set it off nicely.
No, I got it all out, prestidigitation and all. You look lovely.
Can't make it smell any better.
No.
But you can't
Nothing
get the
can
death
make
out of it.
Roisin smell any better.
So back at the rest of the camp with the rest of you is Marshall's potatoing himself. And well, I really got you.
I'm sorry. Because you use that description so often for other things, I just got this image in my head.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna take it. I'm not like.
Like, you call, like, little animals potatoes, you call, like, little dwarfs and, like, little gnomes potatoes, so I,
He is
like...
a dwarf.
Yeah, it's true.
But, like, I
Then
had
not
a
a little
picture...
dwarf.
I had, like, a picture of him putting, like, a little gnome on his head or something just to, like, protect him.
Potatoing.
He's
Potatoing.
potatoing.
Well, Marshall does have a best friend that is a
Potatoing.
gnome, so
The art of wearing a gnome is a hat.
The gnome's health points are your buffer
Are your
to
buff-
death.
They're
Well,
temporary
only
health
if you
points.
get like cloven.
They're temporary health points.
And they're always clean because of the bleaching.
That's mean. That's too
terrible.
far.
Wow.
So made this camp here.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
potatoing himself.
There's potatoing. You got Eleonora, Valia, and Trishik sitting close to this fire. The giant's head still looks out over the quarry into the rapidly fading light as you're waiting here for some time. Miss Eleonora, was it? Sorry, I know that's your name. I'm just.
Do me a favor while you're talking. You have one hand, that's all you're gonna need. Take this bandage and wrap it tight around my arm, right where the cold damage is. Yeah, just take it. Okay, I'll hold it.
All right. And she hold it, and she pulls it around with one hand as she can.
Yeah,
And,
I'm helping her get it as tight as possible.
And she's winding this around. You wouldn't be the first, and you certainly won't be the last. Who has been, well, I suppose cursed, as it is, by Urgathoa or by any number of malevolent or selfish deities, but you're certainly the first that I've met. I don't really, I suppose, right know how to phrase this. I'm sorry. This is overly personal for someone that I've barely known for a few days and I traveled through the countryside. You did enough by coming to reveal this all in the first place.
Go ahead and ask.
Are you about to ask how
You
she
can idea,
dates?
You two were out there doing stuff.
It's gonna bother you. Just go ahead and spit it out. In our family, we have a habit of not holding any secrets back.
Well, the matter of emotion and free thought notwithstanding, it's not impossible. There's plenty of common undead that are brought about by various afflictions like ghouls that can think freely and perhaps even feel to some extent. But you said this was from birth, so you haven't just dealt with this, you've grown with it. You're no longer an infant, so clearly you have still developed perfectly fine. Learn, you grow, I've seen you eat. I don't understand anything of this, really. But it's something that I feel is not impossible to deal with if you wished. I may have been led down to Mongi by Brazakil Barashma under dubious pretenses, but there are plenty of Taldan scholars and wizards who have studied for ages. There was a man who came to prominence recently for a lot of his acts on behalf of the new Empress. It was a Mr. Landless, it was. Truly powerful wizard that seems to be driven by nearly nothing but the search for more knowledge. There are all kinds like that could help you investigate this, that could possibly help you cure it. You don't have to bear this curse.
You know,
There's always a solution.
I thought about it, and I've looked into it. I tried to do my own little bit of research and ask around, but like I've said before, most people can't be trusted with that kind of idea about oneself. They'll either tie me up, use me as an experiment, or try to kill me, throw me out, get rid of me. It's hard. It's hard to ask for help when it's something so reviled.
I am not bereft of connections through my homeland. Were it not for you and Miss Resme and all of your friends here, if I hadn't perished in the tower on campus, I certainly would have here. If I need to pull favors to help somebody with something so severe, I can certainly do it.
Well, if you know someone, be sure to send me their way.
Well, perhaps when we're through all of this, we can make a journey to Taldor.
Yeah, that sounds like a good next stop. I haven't been there yet.
It would be pleasant to return to company with formalities I understand.
It's a bit of a tight place. They have very acute customs.
Yes, it makes everything so much simpler. We have a basis for understanding of how you interact with one another, pre-established hierarchies and etiquette rules. It makes everything so much easier to deal with. I don't understand why people fight against this.
Well, what if you don't know those rules and you make a misstep and all of a sudden you're in a heap of trouble for something you didn't even know about?
Well, I studied them better, I suppose.
Oh, that's one way, but...
Well, you can speak, so clearly you can learn.
Oh, most folk can learn, but there are a few folk who have a hard time learning.
Yeah, well, not... Somebody has to be peasants, I suppose.
That's one way of looking at it, I guess.
Well,
Either
farmers
way-
have their purpose as well as nobility and grand wizards and everything else. It's nothing shameful about it. It's just...
Sheik, can you help me here real quick?
Yes,
I need to get a bandage around
And
my...
she starts kind of like turning a little red. So,
I hold my arm. Can you wrap a bandage like right around this area for me, please?
I'm definitely gonna do it way too tight.
Yeah. Oh.
Is like this, yes.
I haven't wore a corset in years. Can you loosen it up just a little bit?
Do it a little bit and bring it back so it's just
So you,
against the skin.
You did a medicine check on yourself?
Yeah, I did, man. I rolled 31.
Do you have the thing that lets you do it faster?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Continue-
awesome. There you go. So,
continue
all right,
recovery.
so you can do another one. So, what did you get?
I rolled a 31.
Okay, have you already done the healing?
I have not. I forget.
4d8 plus 10 if you do an expert, because that's a
Yes.
critical success.
Oh, I
So
rolled
who-
I rolled a nat 20 on mine.
Okay, so you get 4d8 as well.
I already did it.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
It's just
So
I
who did
didn't
you
know
treat
if I
the
could
first
have bonus
time? You
or not.
treated...
Myself.
Oh, you're treating yourself again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody else is treated by somebody else.
Yeah.
So they're all... Because you didn't do your
I
work,
can't
right?
help
You
anyone.
can't help them either.
I can still treat somebody if necessary.
Yeah, but everyone's been treated. Everyone's under's been treated. Except for Sheik. Sheik's
I
been
treated
injured.
myself.
He treated himself.
No, it's treated Roshin, but I mean, I'm not that short.
You got treated by Marshall. No, you got
No,
treated by
I got
Roshin
treated.
actually has
I
been
didn't want a
treated. You could
potato
treat-
on my face.
Right, you can treat Roshin. You can treat Roshin.
I could treat you. It
So-
would be a treat.
It is starting to get dark.
It is starting
Not
to
entirely
get a
certain
bit
if you're flirting
darker,
with me or
and there
not.
is...
I'm not flirting
Uh,
with you.
As you rested for probably like a half hour now, as you're doing these bandages and tending to yourselves,
And potatoing.
yeah, potatoing, and as Eleanor is tending to herself with this conversation here, it's been here 40 minutes. The sun is nearly set. There's maybe a half hour of light left outside before it truly starts to get dark rapidly, which Valia warns may bring rotations. We want to move before then.
All right, so that gives me about 20 minutes left on my goggles.
Yeah, ish.
25 on a medicine check.
And this is for expert?
No, for just normal.
Oh, normal? Oh, it's critical success. She gets 48 health back.
48.
Probably top me off.
So, after that, as the fire the giants have put together, as there's no evident like stock of firewood or anything around to stoke it, will have largely burnt itself out, leaving nothing but ash and smoldering embers
Max.
in the circle. Well, I suppose I'm about as ready as I'm going to be. Well, we've killed a giant skeleton necromancer wizard priest.
That describes him nicely, actually.
Certainly they can't have anything less than that, right?
Don't say things like that.
Please don't say things like that.
Sorry,
Remains to be seen.
I was attempting humor, but
No, it went well.
It was a fine attempt.
It was good. It was good.
Honestly, have you heard the one about the raccoon who gets stuck in the garbage can outside the restaurant?
And on that
That's my
note-
favorite one.
have I heard the what one? Is this a tale?
Well, yes. It's a joke. It's a very bad joke.
That's a very good joke.
You might call it trashy humor.
Oh, you
Commoners.
might indeed.
So what are what are you guys doing? As Resume attempts to derail with horrible raccoon stories.
I think we're
Walking
going to move
away.
off down the hallway. And
Marshall's
continue
already
on the
gone.
circuit.
He's dead.
Marshall starts the terrible joke start. He's like, I'm out. Maybe. Miss me forever. So the group of you get moving once more, following the rugged hallway that leads out the northern side of this strange shrine chamber, which is clearly once again quarried by the miners who had operated the quarry itself back when it was still feeding stone throughout Ravenel. There's no other apparent means of ingress to the pair of squared chambers where all of the inscriptions of the bears and the anvil shrine had rested. It's not, and it's no longer obvious how this was once accessed. But it's not completely impossible. With your knowledge of religion, without even a roll, with your upbringing you've had, you would know that there are some who take their worship and many of their pilgrimages quite seriously, to the point where there are hidden shrines that are accessible only by those who know of them, or perhaps even those with access to teleportation that could get into them. And with the powers this giant displayed, it's very possible that's the kind of thing that was after. Also, a lot of the iconography about Minderhall, the mountain and the anvil, is kind of at ends with the strange magic that the necromancer had, because it looks much like something you would see in a dwarven home as a shrine to Torag, who also uses an iron anvil as his sigil. One much more squared and typically made of metal rather than stone, but it lends you a sense of more of a god of crafting or creation. They did refer to it as the maker and the unmaker, so kind of fitting, but weird. I always show what's up with Minder Hall.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Would I
But-
be able to depict some of it being a dwarf?
It's clearly not in any way dwarven. It's not any part of the dwarven pantheon. It's just kind of similar. Like the
Oh,
dwarven
okay.
equivalent probably would be Torag. But if anybody else who has religion while you've been waiting here for over a half hour or so who wanted to take a crack at it can give me a roll. See if you know anything about the strange deity.
I think I've already tried.
You
Can I
tried.
do again?
No, you
Okay,
tried.
I'm not trained in religion.
You definitely don't know that.
I have 11 in religion.
Nobody else. Wait, do you have untrained improvisation?
I'm good at everything.
You know what? Throw it. Maybe untrained improvisation. Maybe you just stumbled across it one day.
With
I ain't got a
untrained,
clue.
with untrained improvisation, you can't take actions that require being
That's
trained.
fine.
Yeah, but it's just a knowledge
I rolled
check. I
one.
don't think it's no fair enough. Yeah, Eleanor knows. The dice knows. The dice knows how to play Pathfinder better than we do.
Is that Torag symbol?
Anvil's a Torag, right?
yeah, Anvil's Torag.
I've never really understood the idea of putting things you can interact with in that way in a shrine.
Interact with.
Well, yes. I mean, isn't a shrine a place for introspection? Why would you want to make tools in a shrine?
Well, it was made of stone. You don't actually craft anything on a
it
stone
might-
altar.
It might just be a form of worship to craft things in the presence of the Lord God of crafting.
It looked like more like an altar, a stylized altar. You put those in shrines.
Yes, I suppose. It just seems very literal.
Ah.
Fair enough, I suppose. After all, I've never actually... That's fair, that's fair. I've never actually seen a rose grow out of a bloody street with all of my doing Milani's work, so I suppose that's more of a figurative thing. I'm learning that
This seemed
slowly.
like a rather unlikely set of circumstances to naturally occur.
And when
Milani Druid could make it happen.
And, you know, up until lately, when I worshipped Alceta, I didn't actually expect to be transported anywhere. I mean, color me mistaken, though, I suppose. But we don't have teleportation rings in our shrines. We have our other symbols.
Maybe it's because they're not very good shrines. Do you ever think of that?
I beg your pardon. My family has been worshipped. She'll kind of go off on her. She's telling her about the history
All
of
I'm
it.
saying is you've got no teleportation rings in your shrine to the goddess
Oh,
of teleportation
Just
rings.
you wait now.
But
Marshall.
it's got a door. It's also the goddess of doors, so...
Oh, winning!
No, that's a very poor
Marshall proceeds to
excuse,
run
don't you think?
faster away.
Has doors in it. Some sort of archway, a portal of some sort.
Yes, my goddess is also the goddess of streets. You know, we have a street going to our shrine. So they're all very special.
You do realize I
How
could
about our chapels are buildings that are inside towns and he's the god of civilization and cities? So, there you go. It's part of a city.
You do realize I could still set you on fire.
Ah, but
Just
you're-
do it a little.
But you're not going to it. Ruin your hair, your work you put on my hair.
Oh, you're so right. It's so pretty.
Protected.
But continuing
Thought
down
we
this...
were in middle of enemy. Why are we talking so freely?
We're not.
It's quite possibly because my head's still ringing from the last time he hit me with it.
It could be.
This is called witty banter. It's what you do when you're nervous and you have nothing else to say.
Coming...
Why not stab enemy? It'd help you calm down significantly if man is dead.
Eh.
You don't get out much, do you?
Not exactly. I have business I'd like to attend to.
Oh.
Does murder actually calm you down?
Isn't that
Lines
counter?
my pockets and makes a profit. I see no harm in calming self down by doing job properly.
Who is this again?
He's the man who guards us while we sleep.
Volume,
Okay.
volume moves a couple steps. As you walk down the
Alright, so-
hallway, just a little bit more space.
Just make sure we're his friends, right?
It's okay. He's contracted.
You know, signed pieces of paper don't necessarily stop people from doing things.
They do when I pay them lots of money.
That's fair.
I'll just grab my coin pouch and shake it full of gold.
Well, that's fair, I guess.
Gesture the magical sack that inexplicably has like 8 large-sized gray clubs in it.
So
And
I
it's
have I have a magical pouch called a Pathfinder pouch. I found it when I was making the character.
What's
Yeah, it's a bag of holding, but the size of a coin purse. And you can use an action to switch it from a normal pouch to actual magical storage space.
It's a bag of I don't want to deal with coin weight.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair, I suppose.
That's really
I have a wardrobe of I don't want to deal with changing.
That's true. I made that for this because I thought it was funny. I also it was it War for the Crown? I think it was War for the Crown that I made. I had a name for the sex.
Meta.
Meta bags, right? That was what it was. It's an acronym. I do not remember what it stood for. But they signed up with the Church of Abadar because they're basically a bank, and they got a meta bag, where it was less a bag of holding and more of a pocket portal, and you put money in it, and it showed up in the first vault in Abadar's deific plane, where his archons dealt with all of the bankrolls of the backed Abadaran churches throughout Galarian.
So you pour all your money in there, and like you're basically it's like a bank account. And
Basically, yeah, it's pretty much.
That's amazing.
And as part of it, if you were working with the Church of Abadar and storing your coin with them, if you reached into the bag, desiring any amount of money that you had to your name, you would pull out exactly what you needed.
So it's a magical debit card.
It was very much a magical debit card. Yeah.
How interesting. Get it? Because it earns interest.
It
What did
might not
meta
actually.
stand for? It was something
What was
stupid
that
banking. It was some
Anyways.
stupid meme thing. Anyway,
Back to Trishik's favorite pastime.
as you continue down
That's
the hallway, it goes another few hundred feet with no major changes, no openings, no side passages, just the occasional spaced timbers with an overhead board, adding some structure to these these quarried tunnels, and interspersed torches and sconces mounted out from each of these panels, adding light to the hall as well. It slowly begins to wind its way around to your right, turning back towards the east. You're fairly certain at this point, still circling the outside of the main quarry area. And as it comes around, dipping so far as to pull a little bit, doubling back, turning a little bit south, getting closer to the quarry itself, it levels out around a soft corner where you see a whole lot of things at once. Coming on this corner, you see that it opens into a fairly large chamber with an alchemical golem stood at the ready, 10 or so feet back from the opening of the tunnel, waiting in defense. Where the defenders here clearly have already been told that something is happening.
Not again.
This was great last time.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
But as this golem
We have rectangle.
As this golem stands here ready, upright, its arms locked at right angles, with these strange glass syringe-tipped tubes in lieu of fingers, laid out flat, almost palms up if it had them, pointed towards the hallway, looking more like a sentient turret than an actual golem. You can see there are quite a few more of the Scarlet Triad alchemists spread throughout a bevy of tables strewn, again, almost recklessly, around the ends, the edges of this cavern where they've set up shop where they can. Even though they seem to be on some alert, the time that you have spent before you came here almost feels like it's done you more of a favor, because while they put the golem here to stand here and watch the tunnel, it doesn't seem like any of the alchemists could be arsed to wait 45 minutes to see if anything was actually happening, as they are all back at their tables continuing experiments. But as this golem sees the group of you come around this soft corner and moves to engage, they're going to be quick to abandon what they are doing and join the fray. However, rolling initiative at 650 for what will certainly be a bit of a battle seems like it is an ill-advised idea. So, instead of doing that right now...
Are we gonna do haikus?
No.
No.
What?
We can never do haikus.
I'm gonna show you guys a neat something that I have been working on. I'm gonna give you that are hanging out here a minor preview of, and I hope this works, because I'm doing that thing where I switch OBS scene collections in the middle of a stream, which works, but it's awkward. So give me a minute. Your stream's definitely gonna freeze for a second, but I'm gonna show you what I've been working on that hopefully we will have together and in order for next week. I can only show you a little bit of it because it's not fully ready, but you're gonna get a taste of something hopefully neat.
Bibbidi?
There we go. Let me turn our voices back on. turn our music back on. And you can see I have been I've been working on revamping this here overlay a little bit. And not only am I taking our general setup and theming it much more for the Age of Ashes, which this is all themed a lot after the iconography and the color scheme of the actual books of the adventure path. As you can see the logo right down there. That's what a lot of the book looks like. It's chains, it's gray, and it's fire. I also wanted to switch to this, honestly, to test if it would start lagging while we were actually streaming with the smoke and the fire effect on the screen, and it didn't, so
didn't.
cool, I can use that.
That's a big brain.
But wait,
There's more.
there is absolutely more.
Here goes.
Because I can do a couple of things here, which are going to require me to move over yonder, because I don't have them set up with buttons yet. One of the things that I have been very sad about frequently in trying to make highlights for this channel is, this scene. There's nothing wrong with this scene, it's the same layout, but when the focus is on somebody in particular, especially you two, because you're in the smaller window because there's only two of you, it's just small, and if I try to blow it up to do stuff with it, it's kind of pixely. So if cool stuff's happening in the moment, theoretically, I can shift things around a little bit. I can shift things around. I can highlight you guys. I can highlight myself and my giant head.
Yeah, it's a very big head.
God, I miss your baby
For
face.
big NPC things. I'm gonna add some new, neat little bits of functionality onto this, which I think are gonna be, production value. Production value is the thing that I'm going
That's
for
it.
here. I couldn't get it ready in time to use it this week because I don't have the scene that has the map set up at all, and I have none of it ready. So I have to go over there and use the mouse to switch it. I don't know. There's no hero points on it, but it's pretty neato. So we're working on some cool stuff. I gotta fix the brightness adjustment on the table camera that we have so I can get that one working again next week, and possibly adding even more cameras into this setup here, because you know what's really cool to be able to see in a tabletop stream?
Dice.
Dice.
People rolling dice.
I mean, I could roll my dice right here, but after a while, that's not going to be very...
Are you ready for dice lanes?
So that
dice
one
are
might
ready.
be slightly longer term.
10,
That's
10.
no promise on that next week. No promise on this next week. This is probably. We should also be getting some dice cameras in here pretty soon, so you can see the rolls. You can see the beautiful 20s and the very depressing 1s and 2s.
And
My
sixes.
2s, 3s, and 4s every
Fours.
single roll.
So many fours.
So many sixes.
Somehow rolling 3 d20s for concealment and all of them being 4s.
Don't ask odds of that
I
are,
gotta
because
switch
I'll
back
tell
over for
you.
the outro. Come on, cameras. There we go.
What are
So
the
yeah.
odds?
We have been working at upgrading some of our stuff as we go along. We're not content to just sit here and exist. I'm trying super hard to continue making this show better as we go. We got new lighting today that I think looks pretty fantastic and also works way better for us because you guys see the screen a lot better. That's
yeah.
That's
I
super
agree.
cool.
I can
a lot
actually
better.
see the screen.
You guys can see the screen now. That's real neato.
Yeah.
We got the table cam. I just didn't adjust that for the new lighting setups in time for today, because that's surprisingly annoying to do. We're gonna get dice cams. We're gonna get new layouts.
We're going to get a real hawk to play Severin.
We're not gonna do that, but we're getting a whole bunch of fancy stuff. For now, we're gonna leave this to pick it up next week at the beginning with yet more combat.
Boss fight!
Fighting our way.
Maybe.
I hope an alchemical golem's not a boss fight for you at this
I was about
point.
to say, I fought two of them at the same
Fighting
time.
our way through Summershade Quarry. We have dealt with a strange sect of religious giants, but now seem to have pushed through into the back end where yet more of the Scarlet Triad lay in wait. Next week, we come back 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here, twitch.tv/officialpaizo. What may be the end of Chapter 3?
Ooh.
One way or another.
This is one of those ones where it's hard because, I don't script this show very heavily. Obviously, I had to throw out the thumbnail that I used for last week's show because last week's show, the title when we were streaming was Don't Dead Open Inside, and it was the picture of Skeleton Man, and we didn't even get over there, so I had to retcon it, and I used it again today. I get to recycle the thumbnail. But, I can't predict what players are going to do. I am
Fleximus
not
Maximus.
omniscient. But it may be the conclusion of Book 3 when we come back together next week, or at least the climax of it. Hopefully we'll see you all then. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out and supporting the channel. Seriously, it's what's letting us do all these cool upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
4 minutes of AMA.
4 minutes. Yeah, I don't really want to start a big battle when there's like 6 minutes of our time slot left, because that seems dumb. But while honestly, I'm not opposed to that. Really, if you guys have, it's not 7 yet. If you guys have any like questions or anything, I'm down to sit and like AMA for a minute. We actually had a thought that one of the things we're gonna do because I've been trying to think of stuff to do for like Patreon content, not because I like locking things behind Patreon, but because I really feel like I don't reward the people that give us Patreon support enough. Was character interviews. I was gonna take Patreon questions and then
Q&A.
do little videos that were like actual interviews with the characters. We could do Q&A stuff. So yeah, if you want to give us, we got a couple of minutes here. You want to give some thoughts and AMA FAQ kind of stuff. I'm perfectly happy to hang out and give you sick knowledge for a couple of minutes. I'm enjoying the hell out of this campaign.
It is
I'd
so
like
much
it.
fun.
Oh,
Great time.
actual table is so good. I've been streaming Pathfinder campaigns for
About 11 years.
I don't think it's not been that long.
I
It's
thought it was like right at a decade.
I feel like it's been like I've been streaming for like 10 or 11 years. I think I've been doing Pathfinder for 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because I was maybe not quite I was doing it for about half of the time that Pathfinder First Edition was a thing. Hard questions. How much do you miss Extinction Curse?
A lot.
Man,
Soul.
thanks for the stab.
Give us the
Wow.
hard questions.
That's a hard question.
I have my Aura plushie just watching her.
He
over
has
my
his
room.
Aura plushie. It's the background of your phone.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
Aura is the
poster.
background of my lock screen. Ella's my actual home screen, so
I was actually super sad that we couldn't really continue that one. Here you go, Blade Tiger. Got a question. Have any of you DM'd other than Squib?
In different games, not Pathfinder.
I'm currently running an Agents of Edgewatch group for my friends. It happens like once a month. We're so super busy, it's so hard.
And these two, who I am pretty sure have either consumed vampire blood or drank from the Fountain of Youth, are actually like 62 years old. So
61.
61. I'm sorry.
Actually, I just had my 20-year RP anniversary.
Have been playing and DMing tabletop games
Quite some time.
for far longer than straight up any, like, probably at least me, Colby, and Derp put together, like, in time.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
we've done like the World of Darkness.
Hyrule Half Elves.
Yeah, there you go.
We've done D&D, many different editions.
Yeah,
We've done a ton of
done
stuff.
plenty of Pathfinder.
But you guys
Star
have been doing
Wars.
it basically forever. So
Yeah.
like,
yeah, we've
you've
did a lot of stuff.
DM'd all
lot
kinds
of
of
different
stuff. So we
systems.
actually, we've got a table of almost entirely DMs here that have at least run stuff before. Nick actually ran our Halloween one shot
I
a
did.
couple of months ago, where we were doing
Which
the
is still not on the YouTube channel.
Loser.
Oh, crap.
You are such a loser. Every
It's
week we
super
talk about
exclusive.
this.
It's okay.
It's probably still in the VODs. I could probably still get it.
He doesn't
It's-
like it. It's
no,
clearly.
It's super exclusive. You just had to be there.
Let me see. I started watching your streams at a level 1 adventure where you fought some dude with dark vision and complete darkness, and Brim as a halfling decided to lay down and block half the hall.
Yes.
That was Plaguestone, wasn't it?
No.
No.
No,
that
No,
was
that was
that was
Was
when
that
I
on
played
Adelpha?
the Golem cleric.
Oh, that was the one shot.
yeah.
That was
Godsmouth Heresy.
Godsmouth
Godsmouth
Heresy.
Heresy.
That was Godsmouth Heresy.
Jeez,
Ah,
that-
crap. So
One
we
crossbow
were,
bolt dropped my
Dropped
rogue
my
like
rogue.
a freaking bag of
That
potatoes.
was what we were playing as just a. Was that even second edition?
No,
that
No.
was
Literally
first.
That was
That was
first.
first.
We found a very old first edition one
Right.
shot.
I don't know that exists anywhere than in the VOD archives on my personal YouTube channel at this point.
That was like one of our first times ever playing
That was one of
together.
our
I think
first
that was
times
like
playing
legit
together
the
for sure.
first time we
I
ever
think that was the point of us running it.
Yeah.
Was
see how we
because
got
we
on.
never like played together to see how that worked.
Yeah, you want to make sure I wasn't a doofus.
So
Clearly
I
we
didn't-
hated each other.
Yeah, I didn't like super save it to be like ongoing content because it was mostly a test game that was streamed. But
Although I do miss the snake.
Sortedum. If you look for Godsmouth Heresy on his actual YouTube channel, just Squiddish
yeah,
Gaming.
the VOD, it would just be a raw VOD export. YouTube.com/Squiddish returns, actually. My
Oh,
name
you
on
changed
YouTube.
it?
It's always been that.
Oh.
Well, not always, obviously, but since I returned, which was like 12 years ago. So it's
Pick me up and put me in your
surely
backpack.
it's in there as a VOD.
Strange
But it'll be
Aliens would
it'll be
there, too.
raw VOD exports. Yeah, Strange Aliens will be in there as well as videos and recaps of your Strange Aliens campaign accessible anywhere other than the pre-data recording of your games. It'll also be VODs on the YouTube channel. Strange Aliens and I believe Skull and Shackles are at least sorted into full playlists on my channel that you can see. But I will warn you, Skull and Shackles is probably it's my own content. It's not worth watching. It was not great. It was my first time GMing a anything other than like a one shot or a quick little adventure, and it was bad. I was bad. Everything was bad. It was fun enough, but I mean compared to what we're doing here with Age of Ashes and what we've done recently with like War for the Crown and even Strange Aeons, it's gonna be crapo. It's gonna be super crapo. Sad crapo.
You've learned. You've grown.
We have become much better.
And you got a beard. The power's in the beard.
The power is in the beard.
The power's in the
very
beard.
powerful.
That's why I'm very weak.
Wow.
I
With
can't
that-
grow. I can't grow a beard.
With that, again, thank you all of you for hanging out and supporting us so far. I'd like to think we've come very far.
Oh, yeah.
Since the old Pathfinder campaigns that I did like 7 years ago, which didn't have face cam. It didn't even have face cams. Some of them I don't even think had my face cam. They were just like raw roll20 capture with basically no adornments.
Early Strange Aeons.
Early
Or not Strange, Skull and Shackles.
Skull and Shackles is pretty much just raw roll20 capture with no adornments.
Yep.
I had my face cam, like it was a personal stream, but nothing else. And we moved to the virtual tabletop with at least seeing everybody, and now we're doing this, which is so much better. Don't worry about it. They can't see it.
Now, if you want something that's both good quality and fun to watch, well, I mean, you're watching this. But
This campaign.
War for the Crown was actually pretty good.
War for the Crown almost entirely on this Paizo channel as well, in a collection along with this Age of Ashes. That one is virtual. It's not at a table. This is our first one we got to come together and do. But that one's I would recommend. I liked War for the Crown.
War for
a
the
lot.
Crown
It
is
was very
fabulous.
fun.
It is time for us to go, friends. We'll return next week, as I said, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time, with perhaps the climax of the third chapter of Age of Ashes. Tomorrow Must Burn. Which
Where
is
else do
still
you
a
get
very
lion
random
suplex?
title that I'm gonna
It's-
admit I'm unclear. Like
Thanks.
maybe it's too fine
No,
head for me. I'm
it's-
not really sure how where it ties in.
It's a James Bond.
It's the James
movie.
Bond
It's like
movie.
it's a James Bond title, but I mean
Yeah.
even like I'm not trying to hide information. Like I honestly don't really know where that title. It really is just like a super cool James Bond movie title.
It's
It
saying that
fits
there's a
the
lot of
arc of
fire.
the campaign.
It says
but
there's a
not-
lot of fire in the next book.
Oh,
Bet you that's it.
That's a
man,
pretty
that's
big
smart.
compliment
That's
right
smart.
there.
That's smart.
Although, you know what? Maybe Tomorrow Must Burn is
Oh,
like
nice.
a... Oh, that
Thank
is
you
so
so much,
nice. I
Blade
love
Tiger.
Blade Tiger.
But seriously, we're gonna hop off
Bye.
before Paizo yells at us.
Paizo's not going to yell
They
at
don't
us.
care. No,
They
we
don't
can
care.
stay forever. But I
I'm hungry.
want to continue to play with my setup so I can get ready for next week. Also, I'm hungry. Goodbye, everybody. It's food time.
Bye.
Bye.